you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gon' rise to the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. Run away, I don't have to plan it. I can go, change my fate, you won't understand it. All alone, that's okay, people I can't stand them. They don't want me to change, keep me where I'm standing. And I don't wanna be where I am, and I want something more, take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, all. It is Friday. Holy crap. Another week gone, right? The old just get older. I just see like tick, 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 like another day. We're already so far through July. 2022 is literally flying by. Have you guys noticed that? It's like just going. It's like going. It's almost gone. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Anyways, good morning, all. If you guys are here for your first time, this is the Bullhorn Betty channel. I see a lot of new faces in here. I see a lot of old faces. So I want to say hi to everyone, right? So good morning, Anissa. She was the first to say good morning. Good morning. Please make sure you guys she's the first one. You have to listen to what she says. You have to listen to what she says. She wants everyone to go out there and hit that like button. Crazy Nurse, she says, I'm here. I'm here. Good morning, Crazy Nurse. Love it. Karen Davis, Susie Sue, nice to see you. Lots of conversations. Everybody's saying good morning, good morning, good morning. Who else do we have in here? There's a lot of just chit-chatting. Everybody having a good time up in the chat. I got to tell you guys a funny story. Bullhorn Betty's present. I'm getting to there. Moonshadow, nice to see you this morning, honey. How many other people we got up in here? Sheila, nice to see you. Redmilla, nice to see you. I said hi to you, Moonshadow. Nice to see you having some fun. Tennessee Girl, Mel B, nice to see you. Pointer Lover. Happy Friday. Love the name. Kathy Jordan, nice to see you. Moni C. Good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Club. If I missed you, I am sorry. I'm just going back and making sure I didn't miss you guys. You know how I am. Michelle, nice to see you. Birdie, Crime Chat. Hello. Good morning, love. Hope you are having a great day. Did I say Eastern Tennessee, girl? If I didn't, good morning. Bonnie's Journey, good morning. We've got a lot to cover today. I've been covering multiple things because I feel like we need to shake things up a little bit. We need to, focus. Take Summer's Army, as I promised when we would go out there to the candlelight vigil, that we would start utilizing this platform, Summer's Army, to do good for more people, right? We still have all the cases that we're still covering, and we're adding more cases into the mix and trying to talk about them and kind of give them a good morning electronic medium. A few more people coming in here. Oh, Stitchin', Bitchin', and True Crime. Always love that name. So, but the more that there's a lot of things going on in this crazy world, right? It's never the same. A lot of horrific things going on. So we're going to actually break that up a little bit today. We're going to read Our Language of Letting Go. I'm absolutely positive it's a great message, as always. I just love the book. And I feel like, I've noticed that people enjoy hearing it because not everybody gets something out of the book every single day, but it does resonate with one or two people in the chat and it helps them with their day. And it's all about helping one another. And if a message hits somebody, resonates with somebody, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to get it started with that. But we also have a wonderful, and I hope you guys stay around 8:30, which reminds me, I need to put my alarm on so I look down because you guys know I'm horrible about reading the chat and horrible about looking for people. So let me make sure I got the chat on here. We're going to have a special guest come on around 8:30 this morning, and she's going to give us an inspirational message about her journey and how she is here. And she's our very own. She's a mod here. She's going to be coming on around 8:30 in about an hour, give or take. Mystic Firefly, nice to see you. Jackie Chase, good morning, all. Good morning. And Vicky, I see you. Mickey, it's nice to see you as well. So we do have a few new faces and a few returning faces, a lot of returning faces as always. But she's going to be giving us an inspirational story about her journey. It is, many of you guys know, during the candlelight vigil, we got to meet one another. You know, that was another plus of doing the right thing and being out there for the milestone of Summerwell's disappearance. You know, we don't want to call it an anniversary because anniversary to me always seems to have the hallmarks of something happy, you know, and this is not happy. So I don't like to use terms that are, you know, that I equate to happy. Patrick, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm on my husband's account. It's Cindy from North Carolina. We have to hijack the husband's account every now and then, right? Don't worry. I still use my ex-husband's Google number. That's the number. I have to be honest. It's the number you guys call in on. Oh, Lord. Lord. Thank God it's not attached to his phone. He'd be going crazy at this moment. Felicia, good morning. Good morning. So anyways, so I just wanted to let you know, Guidance in Life with TLC will be on to share her story. Guys, it's an amazing story. Good morning, Kathy. It is an amazing story. And Miss Betty, say you love Karen. Okay, I love Karen. And mwah, back at you. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. But good morning, right? It's Friday. We're allowed to get crazy. And this, just to let you guys know, I know everybody's excited about Girls Night. We had to move Girls Night to Saturday. We're doing Girls Night out on Saturday here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We were going to do it tonight, but Share is going live tonight around the same time that we do our Girls Night, and we're doing a fundraiser for an amazing group. I'm not sure. There was 5 groups. We all got to vote on it. If you guys have not had an opportunity to go vote, go to Share's page and vote. But it was about, I think she had like 4 or 5 different nonprofit organizations, and we're going to be raising funds and donating to one of those organizations, whichever one everybody voted the highest on. So it's a very fair process. We're, she was calling and asking, what nonprofits. And of course, I deal with a nonprofit around here in Manatee County called Feeding Empty Little Tummies, a really great organization, but they're not a national organization. So apparently it makes it more difficult to do fundraising for something like that, as opposed to an approved organization already on the YouTube platform, because you get into that in that crazy part of where, and at times, people will go ahead and do it, but you get into that crazy thing where you have to collect the money and then you have to turn it over to the organization. And it just starts getting more difficult and probably more troublesome than it's worth. So it's always good to try to keep with the organizations that are already on YouTube that we can, direct donate, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sorry, guys, my allergies are no different. They're still screwed up. And this is probably the longest allergy season I've personally gone through in a really long time. It's driving me nuts. I've got to be honest. So I apologize about that. So July 8th, guys, it's already July 8th. We're already almost a third of the way through July. Like I said, it's just flying by. It is flying by faster than we can imagine. And if you guys see Cher in the room, please let me know. We're looking for, she does come in. I want to just say hi to her and make sure I have an attention for any other creator. I know that Birdie's in here, but there are creators that come in here, and I just want to make sure that I welcome them personally as they do come in. So if you guys can just try to get my attention I'd greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. So July 8th, dump it is the title, the subject, right? Sometimes we don't have one clear feeling to express. We have a bunch of garbage we've collected and we just need to dump. That first sentence, I think everybody in this chat can identify with, right? We may be frustrated, angry, afraid, and sick to death of something, all in one ugly bunch. We could be enraged, hurt, overwhelmed, and feeling somewhat controlling and vengeful too. Our emotional stuff has piled up to an unmanageable degree. We can go to our journal and write this whole mess of feelings out, as ugly as it looks, as awkward and ungrateful as we feel, to put it into words. We can call up a friend, someone we trust, and just spill all this out over the phone. Or we can stomp around in our living room in the privacy of our own home and just dump all of this stuff out into the air. We can go for a drive in our car, roll the windows down, and dump everything as we drive through the wilderness. The important idea here is to dump our stuff when it piles up. We don't always have to be that healthy and in control of what we feel. Sometimes dumping all of our stuff is the way to clean things out. God help me understand that sometimes the only thing preventing me from moving forward in my life is hanging on all the stuff that I really need to dump. I love this book. I've always loved this book. Many of you guys know that have been following me for any kind of time. I've had this book here for over 15 years. Very thankful to it. It helped me when I needed it, and hopefully it helps somebody that needs it now. So I do like reading it. Thank you, Shannon Pisces. Nice to see you. I'm going to have to turn these notifications off. And if I'm a little slow this morning, it's because I have Facebook open, and we know Facebook always pulls a lot of bandwidth. So if I do start getting shaky, just let me know and I'll dump Facebook and go back into it later. Probably should go ahead and do that, but it's just easier this way. So that's what we will. That's what we'll do. So anyways, good morning all. Good morning all. Lots of stuff to go over this morning. Lots of stuff. We're going to be going over, if you guys haven't seen the thumbnail, I've been trying to make sure everybody knows what our topics of discussion will be throughout the course of the time that we're together. And one of those things is the Jackie Dobbs interview. Many of you guys know Don B did an amazing job on interviewing Jackie Dobbs. Many of us have reached out and tried to speak to Jackie Dobbs. But, you know, it took a good old Tennessee boy to get with him and help, you know, the world hear at least his side. And I'm glad he finally got to come out and tell his side of the story, because it was so totally unfair what Jackie Dobbs went through in the course of this. And I have talked many times on this channel about all the victims of the wells. You know, it wasn't just their children. It wasn't, you know, their toxic relationships, you know, between each other. This actually went out, you know, this affected anybody that lived around them, anybody that's ever worked with them, anybody that's ever been friends with them. This has put those people that have nothing whatsoever to do with the disappearance of Summer, slap dead in the middle of this case. And it was wholly unfair. People gossiping, people lying, which, you know, we're finding out who those people are. Very, you know, it took us a long time to get there, but now we know, right? We know that a lot of garbage, especially from people like Jody Sue Brown, was just smoke and mirrors. And it's very frustrating. I'm going to try to be a little more, I got to tell you guys this story. I'm going to go on a little tangent. I'm going to try to pay attention to the chat a little bit better. I have to tell you, I'm going to try. Because when I get here, you know, I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking over here at the chat. You know, I like to address you so you guys see my face and see my eyes and, you know, see me talk and stuff like that. But yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Dolly decided to take a trip to go, you know, do some some work on the Cody Bigsby case. You know, he's really looking into it. He gave us a tour of where the incident happened. He showed us where the park was, where the trees were. You know, it was really good. It really helped for the people that, you know, are looking on Google Maps. It's not the same. It's not the same than to actually see it with your own eyes and see where everything is in conjunction with one another. Yeah, Dolly rocks, everybody. Yeah, the Turtle Gang and Dolly are really great people. And he's actually trying to work on getting another banner up for Cody Bigsby, which is really, really sweet. This is a little boy that just hasn't gotten a lot of attention. He really hasn't. His dad is in jail for unrelated charges, but his case has not gotten a lot of widespread attention that, say, Gabby Petito or Summer Wells has gotten. And it's sad because this was a beautiful little boy, and it makes you wonder because this is a Black boy, right? And not to get into racial conversations, but you know, and I've experienced this and expressed this for Kathleen Moore when I was down there in Pasco County, just in my own backyard, searching for her. You know, there was no media for her, and it was sad. And people have been telling me that this has been going on, and you know, I'm the kind of person that just doesn't believe people, you know, or not people, but mainstream media does that. You know, picks and chooses. But since I've been doing this for a while now, you know, I do see that it is happening, period. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, you know, I'm not a person that's going to come out here and say these things without, you know, believing them. I'm not going to mislead my audience, but it does happen. It's starting to become noticeable. So I really wanted to start building a platform and giving, you know, some people like Cody Bigsby a voice as well, right? They deserve to have their day. And this poor boy still has not been found. And if we believe the father, you know, which I just don't believe the father. I know his family, the family, the bloodline of the father believes him. And you know what? At the end of the day, none of us want to believe that our family could potentially injure anyone. You know, we've known them our whole life. We don't think they're capable of it. You know, this, that, and the other, right? It doesn't mean that the person, he left his children home alone a lot, folks. He left his children home. The oldest one was only 5 years old. The youngest one was two twin, I don't know if they were twin girls or twin boys, but they were two-year-olds, twins. How in the world is a 5-year-old going to take care of a 4-year-old and two 2-year-olds? There are adults out here that couldn't handle that responsibility, let alone a 5-year-old boy. Period. So I'm not saying that the father is this horrible, despicable person. I have a funny feeling, and I could be wrong. I could read this all wrong. This guy may have just snapped one day, and next thing you know, Cody's gone, right? It is possible. We've seen it happen here. We've seen it happen in the country. That is very possible. But it's also possible that he left the children home alone and something happened and he came home and realized he was going to be in an enormous amount of trouble and got scared, you know? And that's kind of what I think, at least I feel, may have happened to Summer Wells. But, you know, the more we peel back the layer of onion in the Summer Wells case, the more it's hard not to think something, you know, and I told you, unless more information came forward, that I thought, you know, that something happened to Summer and Don, Candace, and Grandis concocted or conspired to handle the problem that happened. Whether she had dry drowned, whether she had, you know, some people said she may have been hit by a vehicle. Some people say she may have been left in a hot car. Whatever it may have been, you know, I think in many of our minds that think that the parents are responsible. Let me back up. There's a portion of us that think that they're responsible. You know, that something happened and she disappeared. There's another portion that thinks she's responsible, but they actually got money for substances for her. I don't know how to say that eloquently. I really don't. So you guys can read between the lines. So there is a faction of people that believe she was sold, faction of people that believe that she's no longer here. Either way, no matter how both of these opinions and speculations work, it's still it revolves around the same core group of people. Don Wells, Candace Bly, and Candace Harrer. So, we thought that, but now, we got this Jackie Dobbs interview from Don B. And the kicker here with this new information is that now we have corroboration with Dudley Ajan's interview. The corroboration aspect of it was Don was acting very odd on the 14th. And why is that important? Because now that's starting to make me feel that this may have more of an intentional aspect to it, as opposed to unintentional aspect. What do I mean, right? I'm almost speaking cryptic here. What do I mean by that? So I personally thought, now granted, we did read that, he in his own statement said that they were up for days. And I said it wasn't the number 4, it was FOR, up 4 days, whenever Summer disappeared. And I kept saying, wait a minute, they had you take the polygraph test, on the 16th, or requested you to take it on the 16th. You took it on the 17th because you were up for days. And it sounded to me that you were up days before she ever disappeared. So that could be one of the reasons why he was acting a little bizarre on the 14th. Another reason may very well be because something was going on and they were planning something. Because now we have Dudley Ajan and now we have Jackie Dobbs, both describing Dawn almost in the same manner on the 14th, the day before she disappeared. That is corroborating statements. Okay, now we have corroboration for that statement. That means multiple people noticed that behavior and multiple people have expressed that they noticed that behavior. Okay, so this is not hearsay. This is factual information from people with firsthand knowledge. Very important, very important. Let me just see what you guys have been saying so far, because like I said, getting back, pulling a Dolly, right? Getting back. So we were on this trip with Dolly, going out and seeing Corey. Well, he gets to the point where he goes into the church, to talk to the pastor or the preacher, or however he identifies that, he himself. And so he comes back in and he says, "Ooh, I got something to tell y'all, what the preacher told me." And granted, he told me this in privacy, but I'm going to share this with you guys. He didn't record him or anything like that, but he was going to share us the preacher's, what he had information he had relayed over to Dolly. Well, Dolly decides to just drive and start talking about buildings and start talking about the dirty water. And he left us all hanging on what this preacher said. We're like, spill the beans. What did the preacher say? What did the preacher say? And Dolly's just driving, and he's just talking. Meanwhile, we're all in the chat, like, what about this preacher? What about this preacher? What about this preacher? Right? And I just cut and pasted and just started plugging, control C, putting the same thing in over and over again in cap lock letter, hoping that Dolly will look over and see that we're asking about this preacher. Well, we made it almost all the way back to his house on this ride before he finally sees all these things about the preacher. And then I realized I'm like ready to smack my head on hard surfaces. I can't quit laughing because I can't believe, I'm putting this in there over and over and over, and everybody else is too, right? It's not just me. And he's not even paying attention. And I'm like, and so somebody had brought it up and I'm like, I've never been on this side of the chat before. How frustrating is this, right? And I'm like, man, is this what my my chat has to go through when they're trying to get my attention, and I'm just rambling on and rambling on. Well, I'm glad I opened the phones, but it was still, I'm sorry if I do that to you guys. I realized yesterday just how frustrating it was. Just how frustrating it was. See, I'm laughing so hard right now, like tears are coming out of my eyes. Like seriously, it was funny. So if anybody's wanting to know, if you guys didn't get a chance to watch Dolly's excursion yesterday, it was very good. It gave us a great lay of the land. I'm very interested in finding out where, excuse me, where the jacket was found as opposed to the apartments. I really would like to map that. I actually have it on my list of stuff to do that I was going to present today, but it ran out of time last night, and it was Cody Bigsby map everything and present facts. And because I didn't get a chance to map that, we're going to talk about Cody in a way that's associated with Dolly and Dolly's trip out there, because I didn't get an opportunity. I ran out of time last night in getting that mapped, but I am going to try. Yeah, Karen Davis was there for the ride as well. We were smacking our heads against the wall. I seriously couldn't quit laughing. I have to be honest with you. And I'm thinking, I'm screaming at the computer like, Dolly, look at the messages. Dolly, look at the messages. You know, I'm trying to message him on Messenger, like, Dolly, look at the messages. Hello. Right. And he's not paying attention to us. So what happened with the preacher? I'm going to go on another half-hour tangent, and I'll get back to you. Set 2, number 1. Oh my goodness. But we had a great time. We had a great time on the ride. I was there for, I don't know when I came in, but he was just driving. So I didn't miss much, and I was able to see the lay of the land. I'm very interested in that wooded area, literally out the front door of their house is a fence line that goes straight right into woods, right behind everybody else's apartment. It is, that would definitely be my prime area that I would want to make sure was searched thoroughly. And from what I hear, it was. But also another thing that Dolly had brought to the attention of everybody is how soft the ground is, and that matters. That's important. That's important, because the softer the ground is, the easier you can dig down, and easier you can dig down deeper, right? And anybody that's really trying to work hard at covering up stuff, would know how to do that. And you're talking about somebody that was trained, that was in our military. So you're talking about a well-trained person that probably knows how to think outside of the box than, say, we would normally do, because they're trained differently. Good morning, Harley's World. Nice to see you this morning. Good afternoon, Andrew and friend. Oh, send in love from England. We love our England. Our friends from over the pond. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see if I missed anything. If I missed your question, Mickey, so sad the way the world is right now. If they don't want to love or care for children, give them to somebody who will, or better yet, don't have them at all. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Absolutely great point. Or the mistress of who is she? I'm sure there's a few of them from what I hear. Somebody was talking to me about Jody Sue Brown and Andy, and they were like, I kind of feel like they are, together, but not together. And I'm thinking, those two are addicted to the chaos. They're addicted to each other, and they're addicted to other substances. So they are going to be an arm's length away from each other. They get in a fight, they kick each other out. That's the kind of lifestyle that they have cultivated for themselves and want for themselves. So, I have a funny feeling the Andy and Jody Sue, I have a funny feeling they're going to get back together a few more times on their life of YouTube. It's just toxicity, loving and feeding off other toxicity. Toxic people love toxic people. And I really do believe that's the problem that's plaguing themselves. So just my thoughts, my 2 cents. Does it mean anything? Absolutely not. Let's be honest. So the preacher just basically said, and guys, this is the sad part of it. And I don't want to, this is not verbatim. This is just kind of, I don't know. But basically what Dolly said is that the preacher, he's got obviously he's a preacher in that in that community and hears things. And whether it's coming from law enforcement or other people, he's hearing things. The preacher's hearing things, and they're praying. I'm sure that they're praying for this little boy. I mean, it happened literally right next door to their church. So the rumors are the boy's gone. And, some people get upset about that. We don't want to lose hope, but again, in this aspect, in law enforcement aspect, they live in statistics. I live in statistics. And does it mean that just because statistics say something, that there can't be other results? No, statistics are that. It's the law of large number, what happens with the majority. There's always outliers and things of that nature. But I think we've all kind of felt that he may not be here just because of the circumstances. They're odd circumstances. It's already been alleged that the boy may have been gone a little longer than when his father turned him in. And we're finding out people hadn't seen that boy since Christmas. So, there's just something's going on that's not good. And then they're charging him with all these charges and that are unrelated to Cody. And I have to believe that law enforcement knows he did something, but just can't prove it. So they're just throwing the book at everything that they can prove, that they can take him to, into court and prove and make sure that if he's not going to be charged with his son, he is still going to be held accountable and justice will be served. Just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. So anyways, the Jackie Dobbs interview, does anybody have any other, I'm going to get on to Cody, but that's really the updates for Cody Bigsby. Did anybody have any questions or anything before I moved on to the Jackie Dobbs interview? I'll just give it just a second while we drink some coffee, folks, or your beverage or your favorite beverage. Isn't there a 3-hour time that was lost with Summer's case? That's what we're hearing. Yeah, we're going to get to Summer Wells and the Chris McDonough interview on Court TV. I've literally got, I am not lying, I literally have pages, front and back pages of notes for that. So we're going to actually be taking a deep dive into that. So what my hope for this segment is, we started out with the language of letting go. We talked about Cody Bigsby. We're going to hint just a little bit, and we're going to watch a video, the video I prepared for Jackie Dobbs and Don B promoting this video because I thought this interview was really good. I wanted to promote Don B's channel and this video because I thought it was that good. I just wanted to let people know that, Don B did not ask me to do that. He did not do anything. I actually ran into this video, and to me was so good that I wanted to make sure everybody had an opportunity to see it. And so I did kind of like a basically my commentary on it, but promoting that interview because I liked that interview very much. And I thought everybody really did need to see it. And if I can help, help Jackie Dobbs be able to get life back to normal, I definitely wanted to do my part to be able to get that done. So that's what it was. So we're going to watch that. And I think that's going to be just a few minutes. And then we'll go back. We'll just have just a tad bit of conversation. We're going to let Guidance in Life with TLC tell her story. And then we're going to talk about the Jackie Dobbs interview and the Chris McDonough interview. And then we're going to close with Dylan Rounds. And the final thing we're going to be discussing is Justice for Vaughn. If you guys have not been watching that, that is freaking nuts. I've been on panel with MGL and Justice for All discussing this case on their platforms. Many of you guys don't realize Marissa reached out to me at like 4:30 in the morning talking about this case. And, she was kind of more up to speed, up to snuff on it than I was. So I took the day yesterday to really get educated on what was going on. And it is mind blowing. And, of course, MGL as well as Justice were providing me some information about this case. And we just want to make sure that it is promoted and people get to see it because they need to see what is going on. It is sad. It is heartbreaking. And I feel horrible for this man's family. Absolutely horrible for this man's family. And oh, Robin, yes, and Robin was there as well. Yes, thank you. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Nana's Southern Crafts. I wish he would have questioned Dobbs more when he said JVC had rituals all the time. You know what? But I don't think, because he had such a great conversation with Jackie and they were so cordial with each other, that I honestly believe that he will actually have more, maybe more to come. Maybe there'll be a part 2 to that interview. We will see. So let me go ahead and just play you guys. Hold on, let me pull it up first. Right. Oh, I don't need it on that. I've got it in my, hold on a second. Let's see what channel, what page it pops up on first. I can never get these things to pop up on the right page that I need. Oh, it did. Okay, so.
Is live life to the fullest.
Oh, sorry.
Make herself happy. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's not it. Okay, hold on. I didn't get the whole thing. Hold on here. Let me find the whole video. I did downloads. There it is. Is that it? Yes, I think that's it. I think that's it. Let me just see if I can pull this up. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was going to the wrong page. Hold on just a second. One of these days I'll learn how to work this just a little bit better, but for the time being, let's see if we can make this bigger. No, we don't want to set that. We just want to make it bigger. Why can't I make it bigger? I may have to go to the actual, sorry guys. I may actually have to go to the actual video on. Hi YouTube, Bullhorn Betty here. So. Okay, well it's up. Just don't know how to make it bigger. There we go. I think I got it. There we go. Figured it out. I'm still learning. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys watch this. This was my, and again, a big shout out to Don B. Again, he didn't ask me to do this. I don't even correspond with him. I just like, he comes in here every now and again. If I can go in there, I'll go in there. Hi, Queen B. Good to hear you. C12, nice to see you all nighter. Did I say hi to you, Shannon? If I didn't, good morning. And I am Team Summer. It's nice to see you guys all here today. So we're going to play this again. This is the little spiel I did for Don B. I did like his interview. And, can people ask different types of questions? Of course they can. But, when you're doing an interview, you kind of go where the interview goes. You have an idea of what kind of questions you want. But, of course, there's always something that's missed. It happens. And it will continue to happen until the end of time. But that's why we always try to keep an open door with the people that we speak to. So, we can have that second interview if needed, or some clarification. And I'm sure, hi, Smiley, Smile, life's too short. It's nice to see you. So we can have that open door to go back and ask them additional follow-up questions. And I'm sure if Don B sees that there's a question that maybe he should have asked, I'm sure he'll find out that answer and get that back to us. But without further ado, let me just go ahead and play this so we can go ahead and get our very own guidance in life with TLC. Hi YouTube, Bullhorn Betty here. So this is related to Jackie Dobbs. Many of you guys seen that incredible interview Don B uploaded for us to see. Great job, by the way, Don B. I thought he was really honest. I really did. I thought he did very well. I never really thought Jackie Dobbs had anything to do with it. I'm glad you got him on the record. But, Summer went missing June 15th. Right? She's been gone for over a year. Nobody's heard from her. Nobody's seen her. A lot of people speculated that it was potentially Jackie Dobbs that may have had something to do with it, because him and Jody Sue also had an issue. One of the things that I brought away is he said Jody Sue lied on him, right? Everybody used to believe everything that came out of Jody Sue's mouth until they realized she's lying about everything, right? So, I mean, there are some truths in her lies. I talk about it all the time on this channel that, we always try to find the truth in the lies because there is some foundation of truth in that lie. So at any rate, he was talking about the cameras. Remember, many of us were asking about the cameras on the way out. If you remember, one of the first times we went to that area, we were taking photographs of that intersection, and a lady came out, and she was very upset. We were there, she just didn't want her, well, she was upset that she didn't want her house videotaped and shown on YouTube. So at any rate, she let us know that there was cameras. That's how she saw us, is her cameras. So we just found out on Don B's video that those cameras were there and law enforcement got the recordings. Take a listen.
I heard that there was a camera on that neighbor up there on Deeks Creek Road. Yeah. That they had a camera, and I heard that the law had those tapes and saw Candace going out one or two times. See, I heard that, and I figured that's how they knew that. Yeah, they know something. Yeah.
So as you see, that is why Candace talked about flying out of there a couple times. And first it was one time. Then if you recall, a little bit later, it became 2 times that she left. And I always wondered, was that a mistake? Because, we were all following this case as if what they were saying was truthful and accurate. We kind of had our own suspicion of who might have information and things like that. But in all fairness, we did go out there with an open mind to prove or disprove a number of theories. And one of the things was the truck leaving. And I've even said it on many of my lives. Was it possible that when she left, that's when she was leaving potentially the summer? Because I never understood, if you're saying that your daughter was just there not even 10 minutes ago and she is gone, you would naturally think on that big greenery, especially if she may or may not have walked off before. Remember, we heard Jose said that she was caught by her father down at the end of the driveway. So far, we know Don lies about a lot of things. We don't know Jose that well. So if you're trying to, weigh the options of what could be potential, what could not, or possible rather, it would be, I would lean for Jose, that a 5-year-old kid may wander down a driveway. That makes sense to me, right? That a 5-year-old never wanders off ever doesn't probably ring true for any 5-year-old. So it was always funny to me why she would just jump in a truck and leave from the last place she saw Summer when she clearly could not have searched an entire area in that little bit of time from the time she thought she went missing to the time she left in the van. Now, we don't have the timeline. We don't have the timestamps of those videos. We haven't even seen those videos. All that has happened here is that Don B was able to confirm through his interview with Jackie Dobbs that yes, there were cameras on that house. Yes, the law enforcement has those cameras. And yes, that is the reason why they were able to see Candace come and go at least twice that we know of. So there you have it, folks. I am interested in what your thoughts are. Again, I thought that interview was pretty darn good. And if you guys have not gone over to Don B's channel, I definitely recommend you going over there and watching the entire Jackie Dobbs interview.
Is live life to the fullest. Make herself happy.
Yeah.
And if we can go out, with a good conscience, knowing we done the best we could. It don't matter how much money you got, don't matter this, nothing matters. You got a good conscience when you go out, that's all that matters.
It saddens me because I don't understand why anybody would point the finger at this man. I find him completely credible, within reason. Everybody has their own interpretation of something, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie, right? It's their interpretation. But I didn't get that he was being dishonest, but that's just me, okay? That's my opinion. I felt bad for him by the time the interview was done, because when we were out there, we didn't even, he came up, but when you looked at everything, he didn't look significant. And as many of you know, we have tried to reach out to him for an interview. However, never as a person that we thought did anything. Actually, we wanted to provide him a platform so he could tell his side, because I didn't believe he was anywhere, shape, or form responsible for this. But again, his name was on a list, right? But by the time he was done, I have to be honest with you, I really, really felt bad that this man has undergone everything that he did. I'm glad Don B got an opportunity to let the world hear him and hear an honest interview with this guy. And I don't see how, outside of him being at a property in and around the time that this girl went missing, he has nothing. It sounds like he's pretty weak and old. It doesn't sound like he's going to be wrestling through woods and it doesn't make sense. After talking to him, after hearing him, it just doesn't make sense. That's just my 2 cents. Guys, let me know what you think. Again, if this was valuable, like, share, and subscribe. I do recommend you going over to Don B's channel to get the full interview. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care and God bless. All right, so there you have it, folks. There you have it. So we're here. I just got notification that we don't have a lot of likes. What's going on? We have almost 300 people in the room right now and don't have but under 100 likes. So let's get those likes up. Nissa, please check your messages. Which messages? Messenger, email, text message. Which message are we talking about here? Hold on, let me see here. Please. Uh-oh. Okay, I got it. Let's just see what we got going on here. We exit out of here. I got it. So this is a power of the team. I'm not seeing it. Somebody's gonna have to send me the link. I am Team Summer. You're gonna have to send me the link or get. You can put it in a private chat. I need the link, but I don't have the link. I do see your comment. I am Team Summer, but I need the link. Let's see if we can find this. So I'm not finding anything. Oh, here we go. That was June. I'm seeing something and it's on June 29th. June 29th, which was like 10 days ago. This was from June 29th, and it's about some remains found in the 1300 block of Shore Drive. Is that what we're talking about here? Because that happened on June 29th. I think if it was related to Cody, because it was near him, that might be. I just need a link. If that's not the one, I need a link. But thank you, I am Team Summer. Thanks for keeping us up to date. So there's Don B's interview. We will dive a little bit more into that. Where are we on our likes? Are we getting the likes up? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this channel. iTunes Juice. I think everybody has to do that. And have my earbuds. I can weirdly understand her. I know it is crazy because I didn't realize how slow she talked until I was on a panel with Cher, and she had to speed it up, and it actually sounded like this girl was talking normally, like we would talk, right? It is so slow that it's insane. It is insane. So 122 likes. We need to get that up just a little bit more, guys. I know you guys love me. Work it. So anyways, getting on, we're going to have guidance with TLC. So what did you guys think about the Jackie Dobbs interview? Did you guys go and, excuse me, did you guys go and watch the entire interview? If anybody in this chat went into Don B's channel and watched the entire interview, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys watched the entire interview. I can't, Red, I agree with you. I can't stand watching it either. Yeah, we want to get this up to at least 200. So 1. So we got quite a few people that went over there and watched the entire interview. What did you guys think? I mean, I personally thought the man was genuine. I thought Jackie Dobbs was genuine. It didn't sound like he was intentionally trying to deceive, the public or Don B. It sounded like he was, and it broke my heart because he's like, when she comes home, he's like, I'm going to have tears of joy. This man is just, it seems to me he's just a nice guy down on his luck. That is what it seemed to me. Good morning, Charlotte Ann. Oh, Caribbean Kool-Aid. What is up, my girlfriend? I hope everything's going well with you. We've missed you. It's nice to see you in here, honey. Gosh, I want to just give you a hug. Many of you guys don't know who Caribbean Kool-Aid is. She helps search here in Florida. I've met her, I think 1 or 2 times. I think twice maybe, on the hunt for Ruth Sakala, and that goes by Edie. Have we ever heard? I mean, I kind of fell out of that case. I mean, she's still missing, isn't she? We need to still do that. I never even put her video up. I was preparing a video for her and I got sidetracked and never got it up. Probably need to go back and look at that if she's still missing. Everything's great. Finally catching alive. Awesome. It's nice to see you. So, just getting back. Now that I see how many of you guys actually watched the entire Don B interview, do you guys think that Jackie Dobbs was credible? I just want to get an idea. So, and I hate using 1s and 2s, but we're going to have to do that again. So in the chat, let's go with 2 and 3 so we can kind of break them up a little bit. So when people are watching the replay, they can see what it is. So put a 2 if you believe he was credible, and put a 3 if you thought he wasn't being honest. He may have had some deception. Put a 2 if you believe him, a 3 if you don't. Jackie Dobbs genuinely hurt in so many ways. Yes, I have to agree with that. Stream of making a home. Yeah, it's sad, but the nonsense is off. I think that's I think that was driven home by Don B. The nonsense on that mountain, all the riffraff. Okay, so thanks for being honest, guys. Thanks for being honest. I do appreciate it. Undecided at this time. Fair enough. He's the one that Ziggy interviewed. Also, I'm confused. I believe I don't know if she got Jackie Dobbs or if that was Fred Hill. I knew she interviewed Fred Hill, but if she interviewed Jackie Dobbs, I did not see it. So 2 and 3. Okay, yeah. So I decided, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's cool. Even if it was a 3, there's going to be somebody that just doesn't believe. We're not all the same. That's the beauty of being people, right? Right? Being people. Yeah, Fred Hill. Yeah. I think that was Fred Hill. Yeah. Yeah, this is Jackie Dobbs. This little old man just wanted a place for his dog, him and his dog to live. They only had 2.2 acres out of all that land out there, and they still couldn't leave that man alone. It's sad. And it looks like Don B, and again, just goes to what a great guy Don B really is. I mean, he's actually trying to be the middleman to help that man get back to his property. And if he can't get back to his property, if the community just wants to reject, which with all that riffraff out there, how can anybody judge anybody that just wants to live their life in peace and be on their property, And I hope Don B is successful. I hope that man does not have to donate his property. This man is down on his luck. He deserves to be able to utilize his own damn property that he has purchased with his own damn money. Excuse my language. Sorry for cursing, but it just very much frustrates me that these people like Don Wells didn't purchase that property. It was given to him by the family. Jody Sue Brown didn't purchase that property. They were using it from the family, right? You're talking about people that didn't work hard to buy a property and struggle to get a property. It was just basically freely handed to them. And the person that was struggling to make money to buy a piece of land gets ran out of there? Are you freaking kidding me? I hope the man gets to go back to his property. I hope he gets to live his life the way he chooses to live his life without having to ask any person permission. Because I tell you what, I'm not asking anybody's permission to be at my property and in my home. It ain't happening, folks. It just isn't happening. And if he's being intimidated, that is a crime. And I hope Hawkins County helps this man. I really do. I hope they help this man. He deserves to be on his property. But again, I thought it was a great interview. But the other part, which I didn't put in this video because I was only wanting to focus on, and it was just a release video, and I was trying to drive people to the actual interview to watch the entire interview. And the other thing that I thought was almost, in my opinion, more compelling than the whole thing of Candace leaving twice was that Don was in a weird mood the day before Summer went missing. And we have 2 people that were around Don that day. And it was Dudley Ajan, which got fired, and Jackie Dobbs, which saw him and almost talked about this trance he was in. But you guys can go and see for his own words, what he said. Again, that's on Don B's channel, full interview with Jackie Dobbs. If you haven't watched it, it's definitely a recommended viewing if you are part of Summer's Army and want some information. And a never seen before interview with yet another person, an elusive person, right? I mean, we've all been trying to get a hold of this man, and he trusted Don, and I think he did a great he made a great choice in trusting Don for that interview. So again, hands down to Don B. Thank you so much for bringing that to the world of YouTube. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much. And see, there was a time when bullies were running Don B off YouTube, and I did a video, and Don B and I didn't even talk. We didn't get along. I mean, I think he even made a video telling me to knock the SHIT off, right? So no harm, no foul. It's no big deal. But it was just funny because, I didn't know this, but it was the fact that he was, people were trying to bully him off YouTube. And it's like, no, you worked. You worked your butt off to be where you are on YouTube. You don't let those haters dictate you. Just take a breath, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and keep moving. And I think we all, as creators, go through that. When stuff starts getting a little too hot, we wonder, is it worth all of this? is it worth it? You know? So, guidance, if you've got the link and you want to come on up, I'm kind of done with my spiel on Jackie Dobbs, and I'm at a break point because I don't want to move forward and then bring you on. So if you want to log in now, I'll drop you the link. I'll drop you the link in the chat if it'll make it easy for you. Oops. There you go. And we're going to bring guidance in life with TLC. Again, this is a Friday special because we're going to go a little longer today. We've got a lot to talk about, and we're just going to break it up a little bit because I think, on Fridays, we need a little bit of inspiration, right? We've had a work week. Some work weeks may have been great and wonderful, and some work weeks just might be hectic. And one person in this chat may have had an awesome work week, and another person in this chat may have had a horrible work week. So we want to inspire people. We want to give people a happy feeling. It's going into the weekend. We want to make sure that you are happy, we cover a lot of sad stuff, and there's nothing wrong with being happy, right? To have a little bit of joy. This woman, Guidance in Life with TLC, a creator on YouTube, just has an amazing story. I met her while I didn't know who she was before. She was somebody that when I set up started talking about the candlelight vigil for Summer Wells, her and her friends just jumped into action and started doing all this stuff. And then it was like, oh, by the way, I'm so-and-so, Bullhorn Betty. I just wanted to introduce you. We're helping you out over here. It's like, oh, well, it's nice to see you. Well, I got to meet these folks while I was in Tennessee and got to sit down with them and break bread with them and eat dinner with them and just have a conversation. And then when I heard her story, I'm like, wow, you really do have an amazing story and a very impactful one. And I know we cover true crime on here, but it's nice to hear some inspiration, some people's struggles and how they overcame those struggles. So I want you guys to hear this. Without further ado, here's Guidance in Life with TLC. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see your beautiful face, all
Good to
bright
see
and
you.
cheery.
I never show my face either, so
I know. And you have 2 twin boys and you still have hair.
I know. They like to pull it.
I bet. So when we were in Tennessee, we had met for the first time. We all kind of knew we'd like each other because we had already been communicating in chats, and we kind of all gelled well. Period. We all gelled well before we met each other. But it really was wonderful to go out there and just meet each other, give each other hugs, and just get to know each other. And you had a story. You were telling me about your twin boys, and there was a lot more going on there. And I want you to take us back to the beginning. Where I want to go with this conversation. You've had a lot of ups and downs in your life.
Yeah.
And something that almost killed you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so just tell me a little bit about, before you got pregnant, tell me about how your life was leading up to the diagnosis.
It was pretty... It was a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you necessarily want me to start.
Well, just talk about how life normally was, and then you get this news, and you're pregnant. Okay. We want to see, your life was normal. You were getting along. Did you find out you had were you diagnosed before you knew you were pregnant or after you were pregnant?
2 days after I found out it was twins.
Okay, so go back before that. You were living life normally, and you just found out you were pregnant, and then
Yep.
You find out you have twins, and then you find out you have that. Okay, so go back to how was it when you found out you were pregnant?
No one believed me because I'm such a smart aleck and I'm a jokester.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost my whole family by the time I was 23. So I reconnected with my dad that raised me at that time. Mm-hmm. And my aunt has been the only family member that is alive. Everyone else has passed. And they're used to me pulling pranks and being a smart aleck and always joking. Like, I put the little white poppets underneath the toilet seat of my husband when he got home from work, and he went to go sit down before the shower, and all you heard was, "Oh, shit!" So and then when he jumped up, they were underneath the bath mat too. So then all you just heard was chaos, and it went too fast. I couldn't record it. Mm-hmm. But I've always played jokes and pranks like that. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was having issues with my blood pressure and could not figure out how to get it under control. And it was definitely trying to figure it out. So then all of a sudden, I took a test at like 6 a.m. before anybody woke up. And am I echoing at all?
No, you're doing great.
Okay, I wanted to make sure because my headphone's going off. And I took the pregnancy test and woke up my husband. Hey. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? He thought it was a joke. He thought it was a prank test. I've never, if I found out where those were, I'd still use it because I can't have kids anymore. But I mean, that's just the personality I am. And he did not believe me. I called, FaceTimed my aunt, and my dad was with her at that time. FaceTimed all of them. Aw, they're definitely a handful. They just turned 2 in May. Hey, Allie. Hey, Anissa. But nobody believed me. They're like, nah, you're pulling our leg. Nobody believed me but my dad, the one that basically groomed me to be the prankster. So I got blood tests sent to my desk at my office, ran directly down to the labs, did it. And I ran and got as soon as the results came out, I ran and grabbed them, right? And it said I was pregnant. And normally it doesn't show up until it's like 300. But it was in the 100. It was like just showing. And it started to double. We had to do a blood test 2 days later to verify I was pregnant. And then my OB called me and was like, they made a mistake. It's not supposed to be this Monday. It's supposed to be in January. She goes, but I still want to see you because your blood pressure is through the roof. So we go in there. She just wanted to go and make sure that the baby was okay. That this time it was just the baby. And all of a sudden, twins. And I called my husband on speaker, and he still didn't believe it was twins. I had to show a blood test. I had to show pictures because nobody believed me because I'm that person. Yeah, because of all of my past trauma, I tend to be the one that takes it out in humor or always tries to find the bright side. And so, of course, that led to nobody believing me. So then 2 days later, I felt a lump, and it felt like a marble almost. And so
where was that lump located? Oh, yeah.
It was on this side.
Oh, sorry, tell them. Yeah, you can go ahead and tell them.
Oh, you're good. It was on this side, and it felt like when I sleep with my arms like this, and it felt like a marble. It was round and hard, and it was maybe about 2 or 3 inches, not even, from the nipple. And I was actually in my doctor's office visit for my daughter, and I told him, hey, I'm feeling something. And he already knew I was pregnant because he dealt with all of this already because I'm fairly close with him. And it was kind of funny, the reaction of my daughter, because she's sitting there being checked out. And then all of a sudden you just see the doctor's hand go down my shirt.
Right.
And he's like, oh, it's round. It doesn't feel like a typical, I think you should be fine. It might be just cysts. Yeah. So he's like, but I'm going to send you in for an ultrasound biopsy anyways. So, of course, the radiologist who did it was pregnant with twins at that time, too. They did the ultrasound, found out that that it was very crystallized and rocky, like a cancer tumor is.
Mhm.
So they sent her in and tried to comfort me, since she was pregnant with twins as well. Mind you, at this time I was only 6 weeks pregnant. Then they checked the other breast, nothing happened. The very next day, because I'm so close with a lot of the local doctors, normally it takes a cancer patient weeks to get in. My whole team saw me the very next day. And all hands on deck. When my doctor called me, he wanted to call me personally, the nurse, and tell me, and not have the facility call me. And at that time, they were already on the phone with the surgeon that I'm close with. And the OB, it was like one big conference call. So they all got me in the very next day. And then I went under for a double mastectomy.
What was your diagnosis for the people that listen?
Okay. Triple negative breast cancer, BRCA1 positive. So triple negative breast cancer is one of the most aggressive breast cancers there is. And thankfully, that's the only breast cancer that does not grow off of hormones. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here today. The twins saved my life in another aspect. Because their hormones, it wasn't feeding off of it like a typical cancer. But I will have to live with it the rest of my life, being that I'm BRCA.
Mm-hmm.
So I already knew that because I've lost everybody in my life to cancer. I had to take care of, I was the caregiver of all of the ones that passed. My mom, my grandma, everybody. So then,
so you're getting, just for people in the audience to understand, so she's getting this diagnosis after finding out 2 days later, after finding out she was pregnant with twins. How did that make you feel? Like you just got some of the best news in the world that you could have gotten 2 days prior, and then you get the news, like I'm getting goosebumps saying it, but you get the news 2 days later that you have this aggressive form of breast cancer that could literally wipe you and your new babies off the face of the earth. What was that like? What was those emotions that you were going through in that such short time?
Well, I always knew I would get it, just because after finding out who my biological father was, all the women on his side passed from the same cancer, and all the women on my mom's side, including my mom, passed away from the same cancer. So I always expected the battle, just never while I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're young too. You're really young.
Yeah. When I was 34 at diagnosis, which I beat my mom. She was 26.
Gotcha.
So I was like, at least I've got a few years on that diagnosis, because I always expected the fight. I just never expected the other end, the surviving end. So it was a lot of mixed emotions, because we were trying to get pregnant for at least 3 years. Mm-hmm. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had a placenta abruption, was a code blue. I wasn't even there for her delivery. Thank you. So I was already worried about this pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And finding out that the placenta abruption and all of those pregnancy factors were genetic after I finally got one piece of letter of my birth that my mom wrote that got into my hands right before that too. It was definitely scary, but I was in good hands. Mm-hmm. The doctors were worried because they thought that they wanted to, normally when you face a breast cancer diagnosis, many women want to hold on to everything. Mm-hmm. And so they were tiptoeing around what I wanted to do. And I just laid it out on the table because years ago I already had it mentally in my head. Double mastectomy, doesn't matter. Just cut it out. And so I kind of shocked the doctors with that answer, especially being pregnant. I just cut them off. And at that point, they anticipated, because the boys were fraternal and not paternal, or they were separated, that it's a higher chance for them to survive as to opposed if they were in together. But
so basically what that means is there was 2 eggs instead of 1 egg split.
Yep. So I take full responsibility for the twins. I had no idea it ran on my family. My husband tries to take responsibility. Just putting that out there. Because we have twins on both sides, but I didn't realize I have quadruplets and triplets on my side until after I announced the twins.
Gotcha.
So it was definitely scary, but they had me under the knife and double mastectomy by 8 weeks pregnant, 2 weeks later, which is pretty unheard of for most cancer patients. They haven't even seen the doctor yet at that point. Yeah. It was just, and then they had to get me in and check that the babies were okay after the double mastectomy. And of course, I was internally bleeding. I had a large hematoma where they took it out. It can always come back even with the double mastectomy. So that makes me cherish every day and appreciate every day in a different sense. It made me value a lot of things differently, you know.
So you went a double mastectomy with 2 twins at 8 weeks old, and I'm sure that there were other things that had to come with post-op care. Talk about what you had to undergo after the surgery was done.
Yep. Well, of course, because I was internally bleeding, and they were worried I had to go back under to try to find the bleeding. I had to wear a compression pad. And I had those lovely tubes on both sides.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't stop. My double mastectomy was supposed to be a simple 3-hour procedure, and I kept coding in surgery, so it ended up being almost a 7-hour procedure. And so
if the audience doesn't understand what coding means, it means she's dying on the table while the surgery's happening. So just
and when you're pregnant, you cannot be fully sedated. So on top of that, the doctors also had to deal with me flapping like a chicken on the surgical board, because my nerves were still
functioning.
Yeah. So they basically had to try to strap me down as best as they could. And so post-op, I had to wait until this side came out, but it wasn't healing, so she had to sulfur it. She had to burn it shut. So I always call it my nipple. That's my nipple, the way it's scarred. And then this side took a little bit longer. And we were just waiting for that to heal to start 4 rounds of chemo during my pregnancy, which is adriamycin cytoxin. And that is also known as the Red Devil. And I had a lot of fears in that, because that was the first, when my mom went through it, it gave her a massive heart attack and landed her in ICU. Because she was during the trial time of that. So.
Good morning, John Davis. Just wanted to say, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to make sure I said hi to him.
Hello. I watch your show.
So go on. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So after I went through 4 rounds of chemo,
just to let the audience know, not to interrupt you again, but she went through 4 rounds of chemo while being pregnant with 2 twins.
Yes. And statistically, it's okay going through chemo after your second term. Once you get into your second term, it is safe to do. So basically, by that time, I was huge. I was huge already. I did document my journey, and I made a video of it. It's like one of my first videos. But I lost where I was at.
You went through chemo.
And then I had the boys.
After that, you had to wait until they're in the second trimester.
Yep. I went through the 4 chemos of the Red Devil, and it was about every 3 weeks because of the strength of the chemo. And the first chemo, it felt like I was having contractions or early labor pains. So I kept going into the ECC. Once they hooked saline up to me, it was night and day. My contractions, my side effects, everything went away. Mind you, they also said I had stubborn hair follicles because I did not lose my hair. I had a lot of it, so I only lost maybe a quarter of my hair through all 16 treatments. Then I had the boys after my 4 rounds of chemo. And I had them at 29 weeks. I was already a week into the hospital. And all of a sudden they came in and she goes, "Can your husband get here? He's got 30 minutes. And Josh, who was my anesthesia tech, he's like, "Trish, do you want me to knock you out after you have the boys so you can have a little rest time before you go upstairs?" And I was like, "No, I've got this." I should have knocked myself out.
Just for all those expecting mothers out there, just lesson learned.
Yeah.
We like natural, but there is a pain level that goes across for that. Comes with that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the post, like wrapping it, my whole body was just, oh my goodness. That was the worst part. Then actually the baby's coming out. I didn't even get to see them. I had probably 20 people in the operating room. And my room was directly in front of the operating room. And after I had the boys, she speaks in code. I have to tell her to speak Cajun. Y'all mean? I have to speak Louisiana with this chick. Not Trishisms. Anyways. That's another thing you pointed out, that we banter like we've known each other forever.
Forever, yeah.
So I ended up going into post-op after the boys. Didn't get to see them. I sent my husband to go see the boys. Thank you so much. Thank you. I believe there's a purpose for me. And I've already started trying to help others. Thank you, Ashley. I see you often in similar chat rooms. So then 2 hours is normally the cutoff line before they move you to mother baby.
Yeah.
5 minutes to 2 hours. My OB has already went home at this point, right? And my OB ended up getting a call, and Josh came running right back in. I started hemorrhaging.
Oh, boy.
I hemorrhaged to the point of where they were weighing the blood. So anybody in medical field knows once you lose so much weight, blood, they start weighing it to see how critical it is. At this point, I had about 20 people surrounding me again. And thank you. And I kept trying. I was chewing on ice chips, passing in and out. I was in and out of consciousness. Chewing on ice chips and texting my OB's mom, because I'm friends with her mom, saying I can't stop bleeding. So here come everybody. I lost all color in my body. I passed 12 blood clots that were bigger than the boys, and they were 3 pounds each. That's not including the normal bleeding. That was just the clots itself. So at this point, I was like, man, Josh, you should have knocked me out, as he's sitting there putting life-saving efforts and calling the shots because the doctor hasn't come back in yet. The one that assisted, not my actual OB. But I was texting her in real time. And I lost all color in my body. I started to code again. I have a good history of coding and causing trouble.
Yeah.
So then I never graduated to mother baby. They kept my butt on delivery, and they kept my room, the same room I had, directly in front of the operating room. So yeah. Well, just so you know, saline treatments do help. And you got to have faith.
Yeah.
You got to have faith. And I wish you the best, because it does suck. It does suck. And I'm sending out many prayers to you.
Yeah.
And your hair will always come back. You only have one life.
Yep.
Just have faith that everyone loves you. You have a higher power that has a purpose for you.
Yeah. But since this ordeal, like you went through all this chemo, now mind you, for the people that are just coming in, her, she lost her family, the majority of her family to cancer. She was pregnant. She found out she was pregnant with two twin boys. And 2 days later, she found out she had an aggressive form of cancer in her breast cancer, and had a double mastectomy and had to undergo chemo treatments all while pregnant. And then when she had the babies, they were, for the better part, healthy.
Yeah.
10 fingers, 10 toes. For the better part, they're healthy. And, I even asked you, what were some of the, side effects for the children undergoing this? I mean, they're healthy, they're bouncing, they're thriving, but there are some, side effects that come of all this. And what are those side effects, and how are you managing them?
Well, a little bit before that, they only needed room air when they were born. But then my one little stinker, the genius, he had to be intubated twice and have a chest tube put in because he had a hole in his lung. And then he extubated him. Don't mind my fat man.
That's okay. We like animals.
He's more spoiled than anybody in the house. The morning that they were going to finally extubate him after the second round, he extubated himself. He's stubborn, hence his name. So then, where was I going with that? What were you
talking about? Yeah, some of the side effects and stuff, and you said to back up before that.
Yeah, just want to mention with the boys, it was a lot of oxygen and basic preemie care. I was very blessed, except for twin A, who was always the troublemaker in my belly, and then became the troublemaker out. And so he, afterwards, they started showing signs of autism. They have the hand flapping. One is, and it's almost like they're polar opposites of the spectrum, but they both definitely have signs of autism. But you know what?
They're healthy. They're thriving. They're growing. They all appearance are, you're lucky to have yourself as well as both of your boys. Like, everybody in this story survived this horrific ordeal, and it just didn't stop there for you. Like, you turned this horrible experience into something even better. Explain what you chose to do as a result of all of this going on in your life.
I'm so sorry. My cat and dog are now fighting.
Okay. Take a flip-flop off, pop one of them in the nose.
Easier said than done. My cat thinks he's a dog because I rescued him when he was a newborn off the highway.
Yeah.
So he thinks Jack is his mom.
Well, so mom and kid are having a fight. That's not uncommon.
Yeah, he even tried to latch on to him. And I'm like, you're not going to get any milk out of that one, bud. So, after having that, I also had sepsis twice. And both ports became infected. They had one port and then a second port. So then I had to do 12 rounds of chemo after that. Predominantly after my first round of chemo back, I found out I was allergic to my chemo. And the nurses were kind of mad at me because I just did this.
Right.
Checked my blood pressure, and it was basically they were gonna get me in the ambulance and rush me to the hospital. Had oxygen, the whole 9 yards. So we basically they tried to get me actually to stop my chemo.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, not any way, form, because they had me at this time on Taxol and carboplatin. Carboplatin was just done with a trial as to go against BRCA, to try to help delay BRCA from coming back because it's a high percentage of it coming back. So after that, I landed back in the hospital. I had a 102.8 fever. And at this point, I was like, shoot, because it was May 2020, beginning of June. And when I woke up with like 3 blankets on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why am I so cold, but my head feels like it's going to pop off? And I took a hot bath, which was pretty stupid of me. But I was just trying, and I didn't care. My C-section, I still couldn't take a bath. I didn't care. I wanted to warm up after everything I've been through. And it was still going through the side effects of the chemo that I just recently had. And, sorry. And when I did my temperature, it was 102.8. And I was like, oh, do I have the C word? Because that was my first thought.
Mm-hmm.
I could barely walk. It was at the point of where I got to the hospital and asked for a wheelchair. Because normally I'm a trooper. I'll walk straight to where I have to go. And then they, oh, bless you. Bless you. And when the doctor came in, it wasn't my primary, but it was the one on call with the office. He goes, we believe your port is septic. I go, crap, because I already know enough about sepsis that I was like, well, which one's worse, sepsis or the C word? At that point, I was just like, ugh. And I was hooked to a million machines and had that one removed. And I could not see my babies the whole time I was in because of the fever and during that time. So then after that, maybe a week after I was discharged, I was discharged with the infusion balls and the PICC line. So I was doing infusions every 6 hours to myself, and the boys were discharged a day after.
Yep.
And so I had to feed the twins every 2 hours, which was an hour to hour, and then every 6 hours had to give myself my antibiotics, which took an hour because it's a big ball that just deflates into. So then they tried doing the second one. It became sepsis again. So then.
And this has all happened after the boys were delivered?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It was a week. I came home and discharged from sepsis the day before the boys decided to be discharged together. So I was stuck at home doing my antibiotic infusion balls every 6 hours and feeding them every 2 hours. So it's a blur of their first couple weeks at home. But I've kind of, between being allergic to the last 12 rounds of chemo and them trying to stop me, and I'm too headstrong on that side because I always anticipated this battle. I'm like, no, I've got a purpose. I've got a purpose. And I've definitely met some other fighters. I had one person that is dear to my heart. She came in and she goes, I almost missed my appointment because the doctors just called me and told me I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. And she goes, everything I Google, I'm going to die. And my coworker just like had the whiplash because it was right after I finally made it to work. I couldn't work for 16 months. And she looked at me.
Those little boys have good lungs. We can hear them. They're cute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was afraid of that.
It's okay. I mean, just it's an impact. Like I said, it's empowering to hear the story, and then we're hearing the beautiful babies screaming behind you. It's probably for some people it's a scream. For other people, it's beautiful music. I'm sure that you probably, some days you're ready to pull your hair out, but other days you're just looking at them, probably thinking, you guys are miracles. We're all miracles.
I think that daily because my daughter was a miracle too. She gave me a purpose to live because it was a year after I lost my whole family.
Oh, wow.
I was a caregiver and buried my whole family by the time I was 23, my immediate family. So she gave me another purpose to live because by that time before that year between, there's two roads you can go.
Yeah.
And I was going down the dark road because I had nobody. Actually, what's funny is before I jumped on here, Jerry Springer was on TV on a cooking show.
I don't know if I'd touch anything that man cooks. Sorry.
Well, he was just kind of like an observer.
Yeah.
I don't know what channel it was on, but I was trying to get Cinderella onto the TV.
Yeah.
It disappeared, and then Jerry Springer. And I looked at my daughter and I go, my mom actually always was fond of him. I had to stop. And so I told my daughter, I go, he actually saw me on Christmas Eve in Walgreens. And I looked at him and I go, and I told him a little bit of the story because I had a few run-ins with him before that.
Right.
I think we all have, being in this area.
Yeah.
And I worked at one of his favorite stores at that time, but I didn't want to say anything because I did not want to lose my job.
Right.
Because my mom kept saying, I want to see him. I want to meet him as she's on her deathbed. It was one of my biggest regrets. And then I ran into him on Christmas Eve as I'm just walking around trying to find like presents for my coworkers because I had nobody. So I was looking to make my coworkers' Christmas a little bit better. And I turned around and saw him. And I was like, can I talk to you really quick? He goes, sure, what's up? And I go, my mom was a fan of yours. And she always wanted to meet you. And it was definitely one of her last wishes was just to tell you hi. And I was just bawling because it just took me back to losing my mom, especially the first Christmas without anybody. He actually wiped away my tears and gave me a big hug. And he goes, I wish you would have told me. I would have come and seen her.
Aww.
So not necessarily I agree with everything that he does, or neither does.
It's entertainment. It's entertainment. People do their thing, Yeah. I doubt he agrees with half the stuff he did anyways. He's a normal guy,
He actually doesn't, but I could tell you his normal, regular routine.
Yeah.
Running businesses where he always goes. So that was kind of funny. He popped on. So there's my squirrel. I'm sorry. But
so just to refocus some of the stuff, you had all this traumatic stuff go on in your life, and but you talk about this purpose, the purpose that you're here for. This didn't stop you. We listened to your struggles. We listened to how you overcame them. Not just you, but your two boys did as well.
Yep.
You turned this into positivity. You took this horrible experience in your life, this one that almost, took away your entire family.
Yeah.
And you turned that around for yourself. And you actually took what your experience, and you're now helping other people. Explain what you're doing now.
Yep. Where I was starting off anyways is I've always been, because a lot of people know what I've gone through in taking care of my family, and my best friend also having cancer. Hers is terminal, but it's the slowest form of cancer. But they've always wanted me to be a support system, and I knew there was always a purpose. And when that one person came in and saw me, as soon as my coworker whipped her head over at me, she goes, "Why, did somebody die?" That was all she thought was death wish. And I clung on to her like glue.
Mm-hmm.
I just was like her support system, because she was diagnosed with the same cancer. And if you Google it, statistics
are not good.
No, about 5%. And if you Google my situation with twins and triple negative, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those statistic folks now. So
you're what I refer to as the outlier.
Yeah. My surgeon even tells me all the time. She goes, "Trish, when you text me, I'm kind of scared because I don't know if it's an update or you're admitted." Mm-hmm. But I definitely have taken it into helping others and kind of guiding them in appreciating and having strength and being able to fight and being able to battle. Because there's not that much support. And definitely if I always prepared myself for the battle. It's the ones that never prepared for the battle that need that inspiration, help, support, love that somebody can relate to. And so I've gathered quite a few actually that I talk to quite often. And I always try to, and that's specifically why I do what I do and where I work, is because there are many days that I couldn't even smile myself. And this is when I had my daughter. And some of those people were my smile, my little smiles throughout the day. So I always said that I'm going to be somebody's smile. So I left the restaurant business and went to where I am now because I wanted to be an impact, no matter if it was small or big. If I made someone smile or a comfort, that's all that matters. And
now you're in the medical field.
Yeah.
And if everybody remember that lady, when she found out, the other lady was pregnant with 2 twins right along with her. And she was part of that support system that you had to have that helped you survive. Yeah. And now you're doing that for other people in your healthcare duties.
Yep. I work more on the clerical side.
Mm-hmm.
And
the clerical side gives you more time with the patients, right? I mean, the
doctor really
has to go in and pop in and pop out and go to the next room and go to the next room, but you gotta have the ability to go and talk to people.
Yep, it really does. It makes more time for connections. I was only blessed with those connections because I worked side by side with them. To be able to get such quick and fast support.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones that are waiting. And I give them help, support, strength, and guidance. And that's kind of where I came with my name, Guidance in Life with TLC. It's to help and look forward. And then I didn't realize that I'd fall into the true crime genre that I already had an interest in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a big mission in my life. And that's why I kind of concentrate on the kids and the missing, because they need a voice.
Mm-hmm.
I have no family. And I even had a breakdown in Tennessee when I was with Susanna sitting alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, could you imagine not having the parents there to support her or back her in the public's view? I go, I've got two dads. One passed away 2 years ago, my biological dad. And the dad that raised me, that I reconnected with briefly, it hurts me now as an adult to be abandoned in another sense. And it could be just a form of my separation anxiety from it or my PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be that voice because I know how it is to not have a parental voice behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's multiple factors between being a voice for the kids and the voiceless,
Mm-hmm.
and helping fellow survivors or fighters. Because being that I'm BRCA, it's never going to go away. Even with the double mastectomy, it can come back.
Mm-hmm.
They had a hysterectomy. It can still go to my pancreas. It can still go to my liver.
It's something you're going to have to follow up with for the rest of your life.
Every 3 months, yes. And I've been tardy on that because now I work in the specialty, a clinic that specializes in taking care of the poverty level. And we provide free care.
Well, don't let yourself go because, you are the voice of many people. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't be taking care of other people.
Yeah.
We need you strong, healthy, thriving,
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that you're doing everything you can for your health so you can continue to do the work that you're doing.
I can't escape from my primary because I'm stuck like glue with the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So my primary always has hands on me. It's my oncologist that I need to set an appointment for.
Yeah.
But it definitely made me have a different look into life because I was on that one road. I decided to take the other road.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, yeah.
Susie and I knew that you'd get that.
Just wait. I could say a lot more, y'all mean? And it definitely just made me guardianship. It's guardian of Dolly's THC. Hush your face. Sorry.
We love our Dolly.
Well, did you see he tried to correct himself yesterday on his live?
I did see because I was on it the whole time. I'm like, I'm coming for this ride. You guys know I've been wanting to go out to see Cody Bigsby's, stuff. I was been talking about it, and there he is driving around, which I was glued to the computer because I myself wanted to see the lay of the land.
Yeah.
He did great. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, the poor guy, I busted his chops the whole Tennessee trip.
I know. He's ready to run. He's got all these girls around him and we're all just busting chops. He's ready. He's like, when can I sneak out and get away from these crazies?
Especially at dinner when we're like, no. Here, and then you jumped in and here's the sauce.
Yeah.
On the shrimp.
You look at the sausage or whatever, I'm not New Orleans. I'm not Louisiana. And I can't do Susanna. And she brings out the stuff, the little sausage rice stuff.
Yep.
And he's looking at it and he's like, What is that? I'm picking it up. I'm eating it because I remember my little sister took me to a restaurant and we had that stuff. But it was good. We had a great dinner. It was delicious. And you guys, if you guys don't know, it's just a little spicy. That's it. That's all it is. But it's good spice. It's not hot like it burns your mouth. It's flavorful spice. So
it was delicious.
It was very good.
Delicious. But he was pretty funny because then I was like, well, you got all three here. You don't need to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Nice. You got all three.
Yeah.
And I actually made a joke at the table then for it. But the poor guy definitely went through some torture with me because I was talking smack.
It wasn't easy on Dalai Lama.
Yeah. So it's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I take a lot of humor, probably in some people's thoughts of wrong timing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my coping. Thank you. He does work miracles every day, and you got to have faith and pray.
So we're getting up. I'm going to let you finish up, but we're getting up to the top. So I'm going to have to let you round it up. Say your last, whatever you'd like to spiel. Any final thoughts? No, Jerry's
You're making my camera move. So, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
First off.
And I actually want to come back and dive more into this because, we've had a lot of people in here that, I didn't realize we do have a lot of people in here that struggle with cancer, with, these things. They're dealing with a lot of other, things and they really enjoyed your story. And I think we probably need to have more of these types of stories on this channel, here and there. We want to break it up, but I just, we talk about such dark stuff in the true crime industry and on our entertainment channels here on YouTube that I found it was important to, show some good, show some positivity, show the good that people that are in this community actually do. It's important. It's important for all.
I've definitely made it a mission to be somebody's smile, being somebody's encouragement, especially when they're all alone. Mm-hmm. I started off in food and nutrition and ended up being in clerical, which I thought I would never like, and I love it. Mm-hmm. But I gave this lady a cheeseburger, ran through the hallway and saw her and was like, "How was your cheeseburger?"
Yeah.
She grabbed me, hugged me, and she goes, "Thank you for asking me. I'm here all alone, and all I have is my dad, and he's in ICU right now."
Aww.
And I had many of those interactions to where I know that no matter where I'm at my job, I'm an impact.
Yeah.
And that's my mission, is to be a support system and to keep the fight up. Yeah. Never give up hope. And your mind is very powerful.
Yeah. Well, again, we loved hearing your story. I want to have you back. I'm not sure exactly when it will be, but I want to, dig a little deeper into this story. I want to dig a little deeper. I know we just scratched the surfaces of all the stuff that you've overcome and how you've used everything that was meant to destroy you, and you used it to help empower you and empower others. It's not just about empowering yourself. You're actually giving back to people that are struggling. I thought your story was impressive. I thought it was inspirational. When I heard it, it struck a chord to me. You have a YouTube channel for those. She's Guidance in Life with TLC, except when she's on Dolly's channel. If she's on Dolly's channel, then she's the guardian of Dolly TLC. So, but for her channel,
guardian of Dolly's THC.
THC.
And a side note, that all comes from when he's live. That's how he would pronounce my name. So I ended up making a troll account just for his channel. As Guardian of Dolly's THC. Yeah. Because even yesterday on my regular name, he almost said it.
Yeah, he did. So thank you so much for being here. Great story. What did you guys think? Everybody give Guidance in Life with TLC a big round of applause. We appreciate you. We will have you back. We will dive further into your story. I appreciate your time. uplifted people in the chat, and that's really what your story was meant to do today. But we're going to dive deeper into your struggles, because I'm sure people are going to have questions, and more people that are having some kind of this kind of medical stuff, or are just scared, maybe they're going in for a procedure.
There's multiple factors or support system. For example, I was born dead, no vitals. I was febrile seizure growing up. I was almost kidnapped as a kid because my mom made enemies of the wrong people in a class action lawsuit. There's multiple things that I've gone through. So whatever you need, whichever story you need, I'm happy to be a part of it, besides Jack.
Yeah.
All right, love you. I'm going to jump down.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you in chat.
Bye-bye. So again, look at that. Susiana, thank you for becoming one of our newest members, as well as Cotton Candy Boobs. We love cotton candy, and we love the cotton candy boobs. So thank you guys for joining. We really do appreciate it. What an inspiration. I'm sorry. When I heard this story, it was hard not to want to bring this to you guys, because we talk about all this garbage. We talk about, it's not garbage, it's stories, it's people that are missing, but it's sad. It's the weight, the stuff that it's the internal garbage, right? The despicable of the despicable out there in the world. And we cover those. And I sometimes I feel like we get lost in all the crazy, and all the pain, and we harbor, that, we fall in love with these children that we cover. We harbor those. And so I just felt like, today I really wanted to uplift people and let people know that there are good people out there that have had horrible struggles that were meant to take them off this earth. And they were able to not only survive the experience, but were able to take that experience and do good with it. She could have been look at all the stuff she went through from her childhood, losing her entire family, to, finally having good news that she was pregnant, to finding out she had this aggressive cancer, to fighting for her life and her twin boys' life that were inside of her womb, stuff that could make somebody just an angry person. She took and found the good in all of that, turned that around, and is now utilizing that to help others that are similar to herself, or just to be the smile on somebody that's very upset or struggling's face. So, just good stories. So now we go back to the garbage, gunky stories, stuff that weighs us down, because we're not done yet. So many of you guys don't know that Marissa MGL is running with this Justice for Vaughn. It's starting to get a lot of traction on this, a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I'm not the expert on this case. If you guys would like more information on Justice for Vaughn, you can go over, I believe MGL as well as Justice for All are running stories on this, but I did want to share just a couple things. This woman is despicable. This man, here's the documents. He supposedly tried to kill himself, and unfortunately might have been successful. He's been struggling for his life. They've been struggling to try to get him up. His name is Marvin? His legal name, they go by Vaughn, but is Marvin McCrae. And his wife is just a scary, scary woman that many believe might have Munchausen's by proxy. I looked at the information yesterday. We were discussing it on MGL's panel, and I was reading this very document about what happened, and the couple things that, and I even almost stopped dead in the middle, that there was they describe it as a black male in the middle of the shed, right? And I'm thinking, if he was in the middle of this little aluminum shed, I would almost think that the roof would have caved in. And those sheds are not that tall for somebody to, I don't want to describe it on here, but you know what I'm saying? So it's a little concerning with what is in here. But again, this is Justice for Vaughn. There's definitely something going on. I truly do believe that this is being investigated I believe that his wife is being investigated. She is a Fruit Loop. And I will be diving in and doing a video on this lady. But for all intents and purposes, it's not going to be today. We're probably going to dive a little more into this case tomorrow. So just moving on from that, if you guys have not seen it, there is Facebook pages, Justice for Vaughn, that has a bunch of information. Sorry, guys, not trying to, bunch of information. I hope I didn't just dock some information out, but that's the bad thing about, Facebook, is that it has pop-ups even when you don't want them. But it's this chick right here. She's there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with her. And, she's all about trying to stay thin and all about this vegan lifestyle, but this vegan lifestyle has taken over her life, and she's addicted. It's just insane. What she's doing to herself, her children, and what she did to her husband is insane. And now her husband is struggling for his life, and I don't believe he's going to make it, because from all the information that I've gotten, the man is brain dead. And it is because of this lady right here. And I hope he does get justice, and we'll see if that does happen. At any rate, we will be diving into that case just a little bit more. I just want to be fully understanding of what's going on with this case before I put any other information out there. So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in my community tab, I actually found additional people that more victims of that con PI, James Michael Terry, Jim Michael Terry, Jim M. Terry, whatever alias he has decided to go under. We found even more victims. There's more people that have saw the work that I'm doing and are speaking out, and they are actual people that have worked with him. And so far, I haven't found anything where he has done a damn thing for any case. I haven't found one client that's really pleased with his services. He does not reside based upon information. Now he's telling everybody he resides and works from Mississippi because of the work I did. But prior to that, he was a Tampa Bay PI. Months before me breaking with his story, he was a Tampa and a Florida PI. He even went as far as telling clients that there is the state of Florida on his PI license, which we all know is a lie. And so we're kicking up a stink about this guy. We want him to be held accountable for his actions. I don't care if he's out there doing good work. He can do good work without deceiving people and without lying to people and without profiting, unjustly profiting off of these cases, especially without having the proper credentialing to do so. We are continuing to work on this. There is one update on there. When I thought I was going yesterday to meet with the Florida Department of Agriculture, which handles the private eye licenses here in the state of Florida. Come to find out, I got the appointment on July 28th, not yesterday. So I have a few more weeks to prepare my file for them. Many of you know I have officially filed my complaint with the Florida Department of Agriculture, and will be working on proving that he was in the state of Florida while soliciting business from other people. I have enough information here that it makes a pretty darn good case. And then we have all the other victims coming out on other channels telling us about theirs. So we are now up to quite a few victims of his. I have a funny feeling before long, we are going to have over 30 victims come forward that have utilized this con PI services. And what's very upsetting to me is that there are people out there that are running this guy as a PI when he's not. The only place he is a PI at, the only place he can classify himself as a PI is when he is physically in the state of Mississippi. That is it. If he is in Florida, which all of his documentation come back to Florida, his driver's license is in Florida. We've heard multiple times he was a PI from the Tampa Bay area. He said those things out of his own mouth. He sealed his own faith. He violated the law, at least here in the state of Florida, soliciting those clients. And, we are a true crime channel. So with that being said, we are definitely, I don't care if he's good at what he does. He can do that without saying he's a PI, without deceiving people. He can do his work without deceiving people. I want to make sure if he is doing PI work, he is doing it in the lawful way possible, because obviously from what we're seeing across the board, he has injured people. He has injured people. He has injured people that are seeking to find answers about their missing loved one. He's preyed upon them, and he trolls missing person pages on Facebook, trying to solicit money from them, promising them the world and giving them crap. So, and people is like, why are you trying to destroy his life? I am not trying to destroy that man's life. What I'm trying to do is advocate for his victims. And he's got a lot of them. And every single day, that list is getting longer and longer. And it's sad, because these are people that have missing loved ones that were just, they were preyed upon. They were vulnerable, and they got took. And they got took out of thousands of dollars. And that's not okay with Bullhorn Betty. If it's okay with other people, so be it. That's them. That has nothing to do with me. I can't sleep at night knowing this is going on, and knowing I did not do everything I can to expose the con and expose the person. So if that makes me a horrible person, it is what it is. Thank you, John. You're good. Good people. I know we don't, and all of us creators don't always agree. We don't always agree, and that's okay. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be in lockstep with each other all the time. It makes for good debate to have about opposing viewpoints, but what we need to try to do is do it respectfully. I was trying to talk to Doug with No Thanks Investigates about the situation. He wanted to go straight to the insults, because that's what people do when they're backed into a corner, or when they're propositioned with facts and realistic information, and they feel wrong. Now they feel like that is a jab at their ego, and that was not my intention, right? That was not my intention at all. But at some point, you got to take the blinders off and realize you have a duty to your audience. Your audience is what builds your channel, not some jerk off that's going to tank your channel, because you're now putting your own integrity and credibility in jeopardy. And so if he wanted to take that risk, which he has clearly decided to do, he needs to have the repercussions of that risk that he took. So whenever this all blows up in Doug No Thanks Investigates face, so be it. I tried to be friends with him. I tried to warn him that this was going on. He basically attacked me for just bringing this to his attention. So, I wish him the best. There's nothing I can do. He knows better. Also, Guidance in Life was talking about sepsis, and we have an audience member in here that we have grown to love over the time that we've had this channel together, and it's Sepsis Kills. Her name's Emma. Many of us started out with her coming in here as Emma, right? And then she changed it to Sepsis Kills, because she's been struggling a lot with some medical conditions, and she keeps coming down with sepsis. And I found out just a day or so ago that she's yet back in the hospital. So we want to make sure that we pray for Emma and uplift Emma any way that we can. I was meaning to, I don't a lot, but I respect her. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. But Emma's back in the hospital, and I just want to make sure she knows the Bullhorn Betty channel and all of her friends here are thinking of her, and really just want the best for her, and hope she heals and gets well soon. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I try to take everybody, because as long as people don't do, I hear horrible things about a lot of things, but with everything that I've gone through, it's like, I really don't take a whole lot of stock in what I hear online anymore, because I was thrown through the mud when I'm not really a bad person. And so every time I hear these things, because of my experience on here and going through what I went through, I just don't believe it. So I always give everybody the opportunity and try to go out and be friends with them and try to work with them and stuff like that. But the problem is that, I don't want to judge somebody for the personality issues they have with somebody else. I want to judge somebody on their own merit with how they treat me. And as far as I was concerned, Doug with No Thanks never treated me bad. Even if he did say some things, whatever, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But for the most part, he's never done anything disrespectful to me until recently. So now I have to judge him on how he treated me when I did nothing to provoke that. I can't help who he brings on. He doesn't have control over that man or what that man's doing. And he has no idea where he's calling from. And if he did, and he knew he was from Florida and knew he was violating Florida law and still went on his channel and advocated for this man being a PI, shame on him, because this guy is really doing some damage to a lot of victims, and people need to know what he is truly doing. And I hope that the word gets out and they stop using this guy and tell him to go and do the work necessary to call himself a PI and quit doing it the lazy way. Because I think what we're going to find out is this man will never be a licensed PI because he does not have the education or the credentialing to do so. And that's why he works in all these states that do not require a PI license. It's not that he's a PI. It's just that they don't require a license to do the type of work he wants to do. And he can do that in those 4 or 5 states. But anytime he's outside of those states, he's got to follow the law in the state in which he's doing those tasks in. So even if he's not here in Florida, if he's sitting in Ohio, he's got to follow Ohio law related to PI practices and PI tasks. If he's in Kentucky, he's got to do it in Kentucky. When he's in that state, he's got to follow that state's law. Unless they have a reciprocity with Tennessee or Mississippi, which I don't believe a lot of people from the conversations I have a lot of reciprocity with Mississippi because it's the wild, wild west out there. So at the end of the day, so talking about Duty Ron, I want to touch base on this a little bit. We're going to be just going over a little bit. I think this will be about a 3 hour and 30-minute live, but Dylan Rounds, there are some updates. I did like, many of you know, I like and respect Duty Ron in his explanation of a lot of these cases. I find his demeanor very calming, and he does provide a lot of information related to the law enforcement aspect of these cases, which I like to hear. So Dylan Rounds, Duty Ron believes, you know, we've heard, and I've even went on and talked about the statement from the joint statement from Box Elder County Sheriff's Department and the FBI did a joint statement basically telling everybody, you know, please don't send people out here searching. You know, we're it sounds like they're almost down to the end of this case, like they're about to wrap it up, in my opinion. You know, I was at first, I'm thinking, you know, are they doing this because the family doesn't want it? And, you know, the family doesn't want these yahoos out there. And Duty Ron kind of even hit on that and said, you know, that's not what families' opinions about what law enforcement needs is not what, you know, if law enforcement needs something, they're going to get what they need, whether the family likes it or not, because it's about the case. It's not about the family, you know, and he said it in the most respectable way possible. But I just wanted to clarify that what Duty Ron said is, as they are very, he believes, this is not fact. This is just his opinion. But Duty Ron says that he believes that they are close to figuring out what happened. Police don't do that. You know, don't ask people not to come around because the parents don't want people. And that was stated in the joint press release. He believes that the James Brenner is the guy. He believes that they are working, that everything seems to be pointing at this James Brenner, and that he's going to be seeing, he believes that this stuff is going to start moving a little bit further. He says he's looking for grand jury indictments for James Brenner to be coming out. That, you know, right now they're not in a rush. They don't have to do this because at the end of the day, James Brenner is already in federal custody. So he just believes that they are now working on getting the evidence and building the case for James Brenner. There were 3 people that were arrested in connection with this case, but unrelated to the Dylan Rounds case. And one of them lived in close proximity to James Brenner. And I'm wondering if there was some kind of conspiracy there, or if they were co-defendants or co-conspirators or something like that, maybe. But it seems to me that everybody's kind of laser focused on this James Brenner character. And he believes, Duty Ron believes that they are going to be moving this case. He says James Brenner, very high chance of upgraded charges. So again, just Duty Ron's opinion on what this is not fact, but I did want to put that out there because it made sense to me. It sounds right in line with it, and it didn't have to deal with anything related to the financial standing of Dylan Round's parents or the sexual preference of Dylan Round's. And I just think it was despicable that anybody would go online and say that they are a legit PI with ethical standards and do that to a family that is, just victims, and they're trying to find their son missing. And for you to do such a despicable thing is absolutely disgusting to me. And I literally want nothing to do with that con PI or any of his con practices. So now we're going to be moving on, and this is the meat and potatoes of this live. I don't know how many guys, let me Heidi the Gun was really suspect. Oh, absolutely. And not only that, but it happened again, John Davis. This is not the first time. According to James, this has happened once before when he was convicted. I believe he was convicted of these same types of crimes once before for having a gun without having a gun, being a felon. So he's already went through this once and did it again. Like, this man is not learning. And now we have somebody that's completely missing out there in Lucin, Utah. So really sad stuff. And then to add insult to injuries, this family is dealing with that con PI that thinks he's everything and thinks for his 15 minutes of fame to disparage an entire family is just despicable. And there are people that are giving this guy a platform. And I really hope those people really dig deep into their heart and soul and find out, is it really worth the clicks and the views to injure somebody else out there? Because that's what's going to end up happening, is somebody is going to watch your channel. They're going to think this guy's a legit PI. They're going to hire him, and they're going to get the same kind of treatment. And this is the same kind of treatment he's treated all of his clients, at least the ones that I found. And there's a lot. So that's my disclaimer. We do not advocate for people that break the law here. I don't care how good their intentions are. I don't care, if they're the best investigator in the world. If they're not following the law, they need to drop the title. That's just my opinion. That's my 2 cents. So Court TV and the Summer Wells case, our own beloved Chris McDonough with the interview room was on Court TV. I was actually wondering when they were going to run a segment on this, because, we are all glued into Court TV. They bring us a lot of information about a lot of different cases, and some cases that we don't even know about. Like, we didn't even hear about. We turned to this. It's like, what? How did I not hear about this? Right? Court TV's got it. They got it. So I took notes. I mean, I took a lot of notes from that interview, and I put it all down, and I just wanted to go over those, and then we'll open up the phones. If people would like to call in, they can call in and just give me their thoughts. I know we covered quite a bit today. But we have time. It's Friday, TGIF, folks. What else are we going to do with our time, right? Are we going to go mow the yard? I don't want to mow the yard. I'd rather sit in here and talk to myself. Just joking. So Chris McDonough, it felt like, so they were talking about, he was talking to Vinny, and he was giving them, the idea of what all transpired, and they kind of started right at, where Chris McDonough went and met Candace out at the property, out at the compound, the Ben Hill compound. So he was, that's where they started. And they were watching the video, and then, Chris McDonough had to squeeze in there to go down to the basement. And so Vinny stopped it, and he's like, so what was that like, and asking Chris McDonough for his commentary on that. And Chris McDonough said it felt like a dungeon. All the lights were off. Things are over, items are over the window blocking the light. Lines are hanging from the ceiling. The TV was on with inappropriate materials. Did you guys catch that? There was inappropriate materials running on the TV while he was there. And I think that's the reason why he asked. Remember, he was wondering if Don was there, or Don was in the barn, or Don was hiding in one of the sheds the day that he was there. I think it was because he picked up on it. This doesn't look like a video that Candace would be watching. This looks like a video that's something that Don would be watching. And I think that's where he made it. And I'm just, this is my speculation. I'm speculating about why Chris McDonough thought that. But I have a funny feeling it had to do with the TV being on with inappropriate material running while he was there. He said it was crazy. He also believes that they ingrained the children in the children's heads not to leave the property. The reasons was there's animals, bears, strangers, and other stuff. Don said that a neighbor pulled up and Summer ran to his front door. So he's showing them how, that child reacts to potential danger and things of that nature. And that's a good thing. That basically means that she knows the difference between a stranger danger, in my opinion, and, security. So when somebody pulled up, she naturally retreated to the house, which is what you want children to do in a situation like that. So she had those behaviors. Behavior analysis that Chris McDonough gave Summer Wells is that this girl is scared of a lot of different things. A 5-year-old is naturally scared of. They asked about the neighbors. Chris McDonough explained where all the neighbors were. I mean, for this being a rural area and people having large properties, there's a lot of residents that live right around each other. I mean, that are, a stone throw away from each other. There is some land out there, but, where my uncle lived before he passed away was in Fitzgerald, Georgia. And like their nearest neighbor was 5 miles down the road. There, you didn't have all that. To go right across the street and have a neighbor in that rural setting, that to me is, it's a busier area. So it's not completely desolate. It's not like a Dillon Rounds area. You have the Wells right at the end of the chambers. We have all these people out there. So then he goes into discussing the discrepancies in Hunter's story. And he goes to explain the relationship and how Hunter and Candace became friends or are connected. And it's because Candace and Allie were friends. Candace, Allie, and Sherry. Sherry is Allie's mother. All were friends, all hung out together, and there's the connection. Even Hunter himself referred to himself in a older brother relationship with Summer. And then they go into the swimming hole. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. And I'm sorry for just talking over everybody. Let's see what we got going on here. Thank you, Anissa, for getting the information out for Dylan. Yes, House of Horrors is absolutely right over there. And Summer Wells, and we're still looking for baby Summer. Yes, it looked like, yeah, absolutely. So we're still trying to get our thumbs up. Modern Crimes and Cards. We have DNA, but BHB said this. We acquit. Oh no, I don't understand what you're. It sounds like you're trying to be a smart aleck, but I don't even get the pun, to be honest with you. So maybe I'm just reading it wrong. I'm not quite sure. So thankful for Chris M's. Yeah, absolutely, hands down. We everybody in the true crime community should be very thankful of Chris McDonough's interviews with Candace. He really did shed light on it. And not only that, but though he's so delicate now, he asks questions because that's, he's been in law enforcement for these years. He's seen a lot of ugly, and he's seen a lot of people lying. And, there's nothing better than somebody that's experienced and educated and knows how to sniff out deception. Absolutely right on. Kudos to Chris McDonough. I am Team Summer says, so thankful for this. Yep. My theory on the TV was Candace turned it on and remembered she was in the house for a few minutes. Chris got there with his truck. Well, that's kind of creepy if a woman's watching that. Chris McDonough's personality is severely impacted by his hearing loss. I find him very out of touch. Well, that's fine. You can find him out of touch. I don't. I find him very relevant. I find his content definitely above many people, including myself on here. He does a great job. It's stuff that all of us content creators have pulled from, and definitely don't recommend, insulting a man that's given his career to helping victims. But if you want to, that's part of your character, but I don't do that. I think he's a good, credible man. I think he really does wake up every day and try to find out how he can make this place a better place. And you know what? I think that more people should be like him, quite frankly. So, yep, absolutely, Charlotte Ann. Where is Summer? Yep, I try to get attention sometimes. I try to get attention sometimes, but it's okay because you are you are thorough, Andrea. Okay. Well, thank you, Molly. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. As you know, that's the struggle, in my opinion, for a lot of us content creators. You know, we're so busy, you know, doing the work and getting the information out to our audience that we don't get to look over and really, you know, try to answer as many questions as we can for our audience. So I do apologize about that. Please cover the 14-year-old killed 13-year-old 140 times in Jacksonville, Florida. I think he goes to trial in November. Yeah, Kim Tuttle, can you do me a favor? Would you mind? And I'm sorry for putting this on you. You can just cut and paste that, make it very easy. Just cut and paste that out and stick it into an email to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. So, because once I shut this down, sometimes that stuff is forgotten. And it's not that it's not intentional. It's just that we have so many stuff that we're going over, but that is very interesting for me. And I would like to look into it, especially it being in the state of Florida. So if you would do me that favor, I'd greatly appreciate it. That's your opinion of CM. Okay, we got that. Let's see here. Did I just see White Rabbit in here? White Rabbit, nice to see you if you're in here. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, again, thank you, Betty. Yeah. Either Candace went to Susan Smith with Summer because well, yeah, I don't necessarily believe in that position, Modern, but that's okay. I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinions about how this case went, and I don't want to get into details or make it a wedge issue between me and you. But this is my, you know, my information. So this is my the stuff I'm presenting and the speculation and the opinions I derive off the stuff that I'm you know, presenting. So. It sounds to me like you have your own channel, so I'm sure you probably talk about your opinion on your channel all the time. So we have our own opinions on creators. It's okay to agree or disagree. Absolutely, Charlotte. Absolutely. Spike, nice to see you in here this morning. I found it interesting on Chris's video while she was showing him around in the dungeon. The basement door closed by itself. I think somebody was down there. It's possible. It's possible. It's dark. It's creepy. It's, you know, for the normal person would be, you know, like we pay money to go to horror walks, horror trails and stuff like that. And they didn't even need to do anything. Like they just needed the creepy music and it would have terrified somebody. Seriously. It's that bad. Oh, Chatty Jen, I'm glad you're in here this morning. I need to hold on just a second. I haven't seen you in here, so I can't do it from the computer. I don't know why. I wish the phone and the computer would work simultaneously like they're supposed to, but they don't. So give me just a second. Don't go nowhere. There we are. You're supposed to. There we go. You guys got feedback. Give me just a second. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to stop mid-sentence and do this, but I have to. Because if I don't, I forget, and then I'm kind of okay. Anyways. Thank you. Good morning, by the way, Chatty Jen. It's nice to see you in here. White Rabbit is in here. Good morning, love. Good morning, love. If anybody doesn't know, White Rabbit is my therapist, and she could be all of your therapists. All you have to do is go and subscribe to her channel and get her soothing voice. And when you feel like you're ready to pull your hair out, I guarantee she's going to have something going on in her channel that just calms you. I don't know how she does it, but she does it. So then we're going back to the swimming hole where everyone said they went. Everyone said they went to the swimming hole. So the idea that they didn't go to the swimming hole, that seems consistent upon, you know, Brandis's story, Candace's story, and Hunter's story, that everybody went to the area. Okay. Now we don't know how long that they have been there because, as many of you know, we heard and had relied on that they were only there for 20, 30 minutes tops that day, June 15th. But JLR went out there and talked to the people at the horse stables, and they had a much different recollection of that day and actually stated that they believe that truck was out there the majority of June 15th, which threw a big monkey wrench into the timeline. But that's not the only thing that threw a monkey wrench into the timeline. We have Andy B coming out, throwing a monkey wrench into the timeline, saying he pulled up around 6:30. And I can say that his statement is probably a little more accurate because we have Jody Sue's text messages, the text message exchange between her and Andy that day. And he was heading home around that time and would have been pulling up at that time. And remember, Jody was at the bottom of her driveway waiting for him before she even knew Summer was missing. So lots of, that things are not, we think we had the timeline down. We worked. And then now we're getting this additional information that's kind of throwing the timeline. We knew the timeline that was being provided by Don and Candace was not accurate. We knew that. But we were still building our own timeline based upon the information we have. And now we have this additional information, which is causing a wrinkle in the timeline. So he was talking about being underwater. She could have had water in her lungs. This is what Hunter had said. She could have had water in her lungs. The hot car. He was nervous, pulled her up and over his shoulders. Chris M said that what he said, Mom, Candace is saying that didn't happen. He described Summer swallowing water. That's spontaneous for a 15-year-old to say that, is what Chris McDonough said. Chris McDonough thought in the back of his head, what does that mean? And he said out loud that the doctors could figure all that out. When did he last see her? He also stated that outside of the family, the last person that was able to state that Summer was alive was Hunter. That was the only person outside of the immediate family. He relayed in his opinion that she's still alive and they have been playing games on the ride home. So Hunter was the last person outside of Summer's immediate family to see her alive. Candace did call him while the authorities were there the day of June 15th and told Allie that authorities were looking for Summer. The family of Allie thought that was really odd because Candace, was inside of the house and not participating. They thought that was odd. It was an odd detail because if your daughter is missing, why aren't you jumping in to help? The family, that was the thoughts of Hunter's side of the family. The grandmother, Dawn Wells and Candace Wells are all parroting the same story. Why is that parroting language so important in my mind? The language is important in my mind. The parroting language is because typically people don't parrot. They don't parrot language. They have the same timeline, but they say it in different ways. They're not saying, oh, we went to the swimming hole, we went to this, they are all saying the exact same thing. You have, for example, Cher's in here. We've got John Davis in here. I guarantee you, all three of us can experience the same exact day. We can be, just a hike, right? Bullhorn Betty, Cher, and John Davis, all three of us went for a hike in the woods. We went for a hike in the woods and we stopped at 11:30 to have water and have our package, our lunchbox meal that we brought with us, right? So we're hiking in the woods at 11:30. We decide to stop and eat. And then we get back on our day. I guarantee you, and the only thing that we have that, is definite is that 11:30, we stop to have water and eat. I guarantee if we were questioned that day about our day, we would all have a different story about what we experienced that day and where we were at what time. But the one thing we would have in common is that 11:30 stop for our lunch, right? But you know what? At 10:15, John Davis could be looking at a bird in a tree. Meanwhile, Cher is looking at the fish in the water while I'm looking at a swing that's swinging in the background on a tree. Our stories would all have a timeline and all be slightly different, even though we are all together. And that's not what is happening here with Don, Candace, and Grandis. They're all having the same exact stories with the same exact times and the same exact events. That is parroting. That is usually, that has a lot to do with a deception aspect of this, in my opinion. And that is the important thing. People can do the same exact thing and have different stories, and that's expected, because at the end of the day, it's about that person's perception of what they saw. And again, it comes down to John Davis looking at the bird, Cher looking at the tree, and me looking at the swing in a tree. So it just doesn't ring. It just doesn't ring or hold true. And was Summer's dad there? This was the most interesting. Before I finished the interview, there was a part where they said, was Summer's dad there? And Chris McDonough's response was good. Like, we all believe, when I first started this case, I believed Don had nothing to do with it. I believed he was off the hill. But there was a couple things that changed my mind about that when I was questioning people while in Rogersville, Tennessee. And that was, one, Hunter had stated that while he was with Candace, Candace said that the boys were with their father that day. They went to work with their father. I found that to be a credible statement from Hunter. And not only that, but why would he say that? Nobody knew if the kids were home. Why didn't he just say the kids were at home? It's because he was told that the kids were at work with his father. The other thing was when Candace arrived home, the boys were at home. So it makes you think, if the boys were with the father that day at work, when he came home, why were the boys at home when she came home, but Don wasn't there? That's a problem that I have. Then he took off in the red car that day to go work. And there's some sketchy stuff about the red car that doesn't make sense. And so, and then we have the stop at the shed down at the base of their home. Why did he stop there first, as opposed to proceeding to the house, to where law enforcement was, and things of that nature? And it makes me wonder, is it because of the camera, the Chambers house having cameras on it, and he knew it and was trying to do something outside of cameras? I don't know. Definitely good, questions that I'd like answers for. I don't have those answers, so I'm left with speculation. But he did say, Chris McDonough did say, that that's still a mystery, according to CM, further stating that here is where we are trying to find the timeline. And he was very specific, from 3 p.m. to 6:23 p.m., that there is a 3.5 hour window that's still a toss-up. He says still a toss-up in the air in the sweet sequence of events. So lots of good stuff that came out yesterday. Kudos to Don B for getting the interview out with Jackie Dobbs. Good account with Duty Ron for Dylan Round's case. Kudos to Dolly Vision for taking us for a ride along on the Corey Bigsby case. And a great, outstanding, thorough interview done by Court TV and Chris McDonough about the Summer Wells case. Again, like I said earlier, yesterday was a very busy day in true crime news, in my opinion. We definitely learned a lot, and I think that can help us. Now it's almost like, here we are a year later, we had our ideas of this timeline, and now we're back to the frickin' drawing board of this timeline because of certain revelations that came out many, many, many months later. And that's what we're dealing with right now. Was Don at work? I truly want to know. Was Don at work? Because to me, it seems like a forced alibi. It's starting to give me the feeling in my gut that it was a forced alibi. He was home much earlier. Something happened. They got into gear. They got the story. And then we still have to explain his weird actions the day before. We heard Dudley say he was acting odd. He was laying in a tub when he got to work. He wasn't acting right. He wasn't acting himself. And we have Jackie Dobbs saying the same darn thing. It makes us wonder, what was going on in their life. Yeah. Yep. I don't think Don would have mentioned his stop at the shed had he not seen his, boys and a neighbor. Bingo. Bingo. He had no choice but to say it. Yeah, I get it. Well, then why are you here? You know, why would you be here? It seems to me that you're being rude, and I'm talking to Modern, and we have a rule in here. We have a rule in here. You must be respectful, and you can't be disrespectful to me or other creators or the chat. And if you don't want to be associated, why are you here commentating? You know, we can make it easy for you. If you would like to leave, I'll let you leave. But if you would like me to block you, I'm happy to do that as well. If you don't want to be here, nobody's forcing you to be here. And quite frankly, I think it's kind of a mental problem why you would be in somebody else's chat that you can't even stand. To me, I wouldn't do it. I don't do it. So if that was meant toward me. Okay. Yeah. Modern crimes and cards has been absolutely out of line since this beginning. We're going to time you out. Hopefully that will correct you. If you want to come back in here and be respectful to the chat and to me, we won't block you. But if it happens again, you will be blocked, and I'm not going to unblock you. I will put you on the permanent block list, and you can just watch from afar because I do not like what you're doing. I think it's highly and totally disrespectful, and it says more about your character and integrity than it does about mine. Just saying. So take your pick, Modern, but I'm done. I'm going to let somebody else have the happy thing of timing her out. I won't do it. I'll let somebody else. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. But I've given her her warning so she can adjust her attitude accordingly or leave. You know, I'll let her be an adult and know how to leave respectfully. But yeah. So that's the rules. You're respectful. I don't care if you don't like everybody in here. But then it comes down to why would you be in here if you don't like anybody? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So you guys got that. So anyways, I'm going to open the phone lines, folks. I've got to find a way to do this without showing. Hold on one second. I'm going to have to put something else up because I always accidentally. Still learning the system. So I accidentally, inadvertently, every now and again, unintentionally dox my own fan base, but I don't mean to. You guys know that. So let me put my little stuff up here. I think I got I do have it on. Okay, good. All right, guys, the phone lines are open. If you guys would like to call in, actually give me like 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Let me see if I can, I'm just going to play a quick little video and then you guys are probably going to have to sit. Give me just a second. Sorry, I hate to do this, but give me just a second. Let me get you guys something to watch. You guys can watch.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother. Peace out. Bullhorn Betty style.
Modern, that was just for you this morning. So, no, Ange, I don't see anybody else buffering. I've got it running on my phone too, just to make sure. That's the only way I can monitor to make sure that this isn't getting. We got a few of them, right? We got a few of them. So out here on the streets of YouTube, she was feeling sassy that day. I know Susiana was there with me. So was Guidance in Life with TLC and True Crime with Eve. And Dolly Vision. Dolly Vision was out there as well. Toaster Oven, Tammy and Peggy. We were all out there together, and I was sitting there recording and in one of the chairs, and I just hear ear. I can't do a donkey sound. I'm not going to do it because they're going to clip it. But anyways, there was a donkey sound going off in the background, and somebody, it was the day that we found out that people were removing stuff from Summer Wells Memorial. It's just a despicable act from, whether their hearts were in the right place or not. That girl has lost everything, and you just take more and more of her. And it was heartbreaking to see, and people trying to justify their actions, which is even more deplorable. However, we were out there, and I had just gotten that news, and I saw the donkey over there, and I said, you know what? That looks like an ass. And there we have it. So as many of you guys know, the phone lines are open. If you guys would like to call in, tell me about myself, tell me how you feeling, please do so. And also for those that are out there right now, I know you guys know that we have postponed our girls' night out to Saturday night. We're not doing our girls' night live until Saturday night at 8 o'clock. And it's for men and women because we need our security. So I don't want the guys feeling like they're being left out. It's just, we don't talk about cases. We just joke around. We just have a good time. It's all about smiles, laughs, and just, shaking the week off. But we usually do that on Friday night. But Share with Listen to Voices Behind the Wall is having a fundraiser tonight. It's a fundraiser for a great cause. Share, are you still in the chat, or maybe one of your girls? Did we determine which nonprofit this will be going to? I can't right now, Robin. I'm at Wally World. Oh. Do we have, I'm going to add some sausage to the party. Okay, yeah, but we're going to do it Saturday night, but it's all about funny. So John Davis, if you come, think of funny stories. It's all about, funny stuff. I'll probably have some animal stuff, in between calls, because I always find people laugh at, animals doing funny things. So it's a great time. Silly Saturday night. Maybe that's what we'll call it this week, because I have to change the name a little bit, but we all know what it is. We all know that. It's us girls, it's just us girls. But yeah, come on by, stop by and hang out. We have a bunch of fun. Tune in tonight. Here is the link. I can't remember the name right now, but okay. So it's the domestic violence. So there's a shelter that's a pet-friendly shelter for domestic violence victims, and that appears to be where we're raising the money for. So it's for a great cause. It's going directly to that organization, and definitely want to advocate and help raise money for that. It's definitely something that is needed. It's definitely going to help a lot of abused people in families as well as pets. And we want to make sure that we support and advocate for that. So yes, we are definitely going to be in Share's chat tonight. Share, what time is that? I guess I could just look it up. But you're right here. So, path of least resistance, right? Path of least resistance. Hold on here. There you are. So we have it. It's scheduled for 8:40. So, 7:30 Central, 8:30. Well, it says 8:40 on here. We'll give you an extra 10 minutes. No. Can't wait. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Absolutely. In Summer's name. So we're going to be raising this money. This is we want to definitely talk about Summer. We want to definitely just do everything we can. This is going to be something to give back to the community, to people of, in all fairness, toxic family environments that are trying to leave. So this can't be any more as important as anything else that we can do to help these battered people, help these battered families, and help these battered pets. So definitely a great cause. I hope everybody tunes in tonight, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time or 7:30 Central. So please be there. Guys, the phones are open, but we are almost out of time. So I'm going to give somebody about 5 minutes. If the phones don't ring, we're just going to work it all down. And you guys just enjoy your wonderful Friday. And don't forget to tune back in here into Cher's channel tonight at 8:30 and back here first thing in the morning for Coffee Club. Any calls? Takers. Let me make sure I covered everything I was supposed to cover. Give me just a second. I got to sneeze because my allergies are just horrible this day. Excuse me. Sorry. So we covered Jackie Dobbs. We covered Cody Bigsby. We covered Justice for Vaughn, the Dylan Rounds case, and the Summer Wells case. And we had Guidance in Life with TLC on. Guys, we did a great job. We covered a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, stop it, Anissa. Always poking fun. It's Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Yeah.
It's Denise from Kansas.
Well, hello, Denise from Kansas. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Awesome.
I just wanted to call and give my opinion on the Summer Wells case.
Sure.
I think that they drugged the baby, and I think that they went to Jody Sue for help because they knew the drugs came from her.
Mm-hmm.
And they helped dispose of Summer's body, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's definitely something that just is something doesn't we've all known for a while something doesn't make sense. It's the why and where and how, and I think that's what but Jody Sue, she could absolutely be a part of this. There's something wrong with the woman.
There's definitely something wrong with her.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't understand it. Why would you be on YouTube blasting all this business if your intentions were wrong?
And you know what else is that we keep hearing, we heard that, and of course, naturally, I ran to other creators, or my mind ran to other creators when Leslie Earhart was talking about there are some creators out there intentionally, now listen to this, intentionally putting out misinformation to thwart the case. She didn't use thwart the case, obviously, but she did state are intentionally putting out misinformation. And of course, I was thinking about other creators, and I keep wondering, was she in reference to, Jody Sue? Because, Jody Sue made the allegation of the animalistic type of scream. She made the allegation that she saw somebody getting out of the car. She made the allegation of a red truck in the area, from my understanding. She made all these different allegations. And could it be that?
It could be. And I think that red truck is either her mom or the truck that Don drove occasionally. That was his boss's. And I think that they exchanged cars somehow, and she was disposed of. Unfortunately, I don't think she's alive. But
I wonder if he took the red car to work and left in the red truck to come home.
That's what I'm wondering.
Because they said that, they were very specific about the types of buckets that were in that truck. And when I heard the description of the buckets in the truck, I'm like, those are drywall. They're talking about drywall buckets.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said this whole thing. I've been watching this case. I watched it on Dr. Phil. That's how I started following the case. And I've been on it every day since then. And it's amazing the crap that has came out with this case. It's just unreal.
Yeah, and you got to feel, everybody's kind of pointing the fingers at law enforcement, but you got to kind of feel for them because they're having to, they're having to deal with, we have hundreds of creators talking about this and thousands of audience members looking into this.
And I think they've uncovered more than what they anticipated, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's taken so long.
Yeah.
Because they've uncovered a whole sexual trafficking ring, drugs, all the above. And it's just crazy.
Yeah. So
it's sad, and I pray every day that this baby gets found and brought either home to be loved on because she's alive, or to be rest in peace, because bless that baby's soul.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Denise, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate your time. Please don't be a stranger and call back.
I will, hon. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, and I now, I don't think I've ever publicly stated that I did say that when I heard the description of the truck, I'm like, that sounds like drywall buckets, because I did drywall. Many people that have been following me know that. I mean, they even did a clip when I said, it can't be because I actually did a job and had a company. It had to be because they had it twisted as if I put holes in my own wall. That's how despicable these people are. But this is Betty.
Hey, Betty. This is Bitchy.
Hey, Bitchy Tanya. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's shaking bacon?
Shaking bacon. Hey, the thing with Hunter, he said something about they changed the clothes. Now it's in the McDonough interview. Changed the clothes because they were going to be going to Jonesboro.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep, I do.
So that's been a question I've been wondering about for a while now. Did they ever go to Jonesboro? Did they not?
It's possible, because that's where they were supposed to have gone when they left Hunter, but they're saying that they went home. They went home instead because they needed to drop the groceries off. And you know who else was in Jonesboro that day? Don Wells.
Don?
Supposedly.
Donnie Boy was in Jonesboro, yes. To go to the fun splash zone or fun, whatever, water park or something. So
and I don't know who would be going to a water park that late in the afternoon. I mean, water parks can't stay open that long. Like, why would you spend the money to go into a water park, pay the fee to go into the water park for an hour? I wouldn't do that. I would make it a day.
Now, if you bribe your kids into going to work with their father, that when they get out, they get to go to the water park. I mean, we do that kind of stuff all the time. If you do this, we'll do that for you, even if it
bribery works with children. I mean, I tell you, there's a lot of parental books out there that says don't bribe your children, and I'm thinking bribery works, though. It's worked for hundreds of years.
We don't normally use it, but every once in a while you gotta pull that out.
Yeah. I agree.
Pull the bribe card.
I agree. But there are people, they're hot and cold. They some people believe that, that she made it home, and there's another portion of people that don't believe she ever made it home. I'm cutting it in half. Like, I believe they drove her to the property, but I don't think she ever got out of the car. That's just my opinion.
Right.
But there are somebody like my counterparts that believe that she never got out of the car, or never even made it to the hill, that something happened from the time they dropped Hunter off to the time that they arrived back home.
And it could be that the groceries were more important to get back in the fridge than to get Summer out of distress or anything too. And when they went back to the house, dropped the groceries off, and back out the door she went. Who knows?
And you never know. Like, Summer might have and I was looking into the heat exhaustion aspect of it, and what would go involved with heat exhaustion. And one of the signs of the heat stroke or heat exhaustion is vomiting. But they didn't tell you what, if a kid didn't have any food, what are they going to really vomit? And I keep thinking about that stain on her shirt that day.
Yep. Yeah.
And, and I keep coming back to that, like, could she have spit up maybe more water that she drank or whatever? We do know that she had a Slurpee. Could she have
bile or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, bile from her tummy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't have been like, foody. It would have been just liquidy. And so could that have explained the stain, that liquid stain on her jacket that day? And that would kind of explain it, but we don't know. We don't really know what happened. I always was of the belief when we first started going out there that there was definitely an incident at that water hole, and that she potentially had a dry drowning, because nothing we're dealing with here is common statistically, period. I mean, so this is kind of already out of the realm of statistics, because no matter what happens,
the hot car thing is a statistic too. The hot car thing, and dry drowning. It could have been a trifecta of things. It could have just been one of the most worst damn days of anybody's life, which obviously it probably is too. But just who knows what, you know, it could have been this, that, and another thing.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? That's why this case is so out there, is because we just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling the truth. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's the hardest part is nobody's telling the truth, and all they're doing by not telling the truth. Like these are missing persons people. These aren't, you know, the moonshine police. They don't.
They're not even just kids, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, they're not even. I mean, yes, they're people, but you know what I mean. They're just kids. What have they done to deserve all this stuff? You know, I mean, it's just so sad.
It is very sad, without a doubt. It is very sad. Thank you, Kayla. But anyways, Tanya, thank you so much for calling in and giving your perspective. But it does bring, you know, it now we're starting to, you know, bring that spot on her jacket into the fold that many people have been talking about for a long time.
Yeah, there's also a spot under her ear, a little drip spot.
I'm not sure. You know, I keep looking at that photo, and I looked at some past photos, and everybody's like the darkening up here. As you can see, like even over here, you know, I've got a shadowing right here that, you know, could, you know, be what we saw in that photo, because that photo really was grainy. It took a lot of people using digital clarifying.
It's a photo of a photo on a phone. So,
it's pretty grainy. It's not very clear. So there could be some shadowing that's not there, you know, and
it's not really on her, but on the actual photo.
Yeah. So it's making it even like just as hard to try to tell what that video and photo really meant. But, you know, I found it, the only thing I found really odd, you know, kind of looking at it from that lens. Now I do believe that those cuticles and stuff do mean something, because I had entirely too many healthcare professionals tell me that it could mean something. You know, again, a grainy photo, you know, it could mean something. They weren't really looking so much at the stain as they were the cuticles, but the cuticles were the ones that were going to be concerning to them the most. So
yeah, it's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just very bizarre. This whole thing is bizarre.
Yeah.
But I believe, like the caller before me called, I think they got into a nest that they didn't even know existed, and the nest is bigger than and tighter than they thought, and so that's what's taken so long. Unfortunately, Miss Little Summers was, you know, a price that somebody had to pay in this nest.
Yeah.
Crazy insanity of criminals. But anyway,
there's a lot of them out there for such a small county. Just saying.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not just that. I'm sure it's the whole, who knows how far it goes, you know, Florida is right there.
Oh, I know. Wait, hey, but we have a lot of people in the state of Florida. It kind of balances itself out. But if we were living in such a small county and had that much stuff going on, and then we find out like they don't have the budget for their law enforcement, they don't have it in their budget for the jail, it causes a whole different host of other issues. And I hope that they fix that.
Right. And that makes it also seem bigger than what Hawkins County is too, you know, and that's why they have all these others involved. But well,
I agree.
You know, all we can do is speculate.
Yep.
Speculate.
Thank you so much, Tanya.
You bet. You have a great day.
You too. Happy Friday.
Tomorrow night.
Bye-bye. So there is another person, and it does bring back, I mean, we all have our opinions of what happened, and they're definitely, you know, some of them are kind of similar. Some of them have a whole new perspective, and it brings the train right to a different direction. But when those things come up, we definitely have to discuss them because, you know, we talk about possible and probable. And it was funny because MGL caught me because I always talk about possible and probable. She goes, is it possible? And I'm like, it might be probable. And she caught me on it. And I'm like, what did I say to you? Like, I forgot it. But that means she's like, probable. I'm like, oh, I always say that. She's like, yeah. I'm like, I feel like an idiot, right? I tell you, it is a little cray cray. It is a little cray cray on the cray cray train, right? Thank you, Caleb, for becoming the newest member. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this segment. Again, we did go over quite a bit. I am going to go ahead and shut the phones down. I'm sorry weren't able to take more calls, and I'm sorry I talked longer than I had anticipated, but we had so much to cover, and then we're going to dive into what we cover. So, and I'm still trying to work on getting out and searching. I'm kind of jealous because Dolly said he was going to go looking for Cody Bixby today, and I wanted to go out and search as well. And obviously, I'm in Florida. This case is going on in Virginia. So, I really, really, really like, him to do a good job. I hope he looks in all the right spaces. It sounds like he's kind of got a plan. We'll see if that plan comes to fruition. But if he doesn't do it today and he wants to do it tomorrow, I want to be there, Dolly. Like, I want to go and put my boots on and get out there in the woods with my, shovel and my wading gear. If we find the canals, the ponds, whatever. And I'm stuck here in Florida, and it kind of sucks a little bit because that's the one case that I feel just hasn't gotten enough attention to it. Poor Cody Bixby. I'm thankful that Corey Bixby is sitting behind bars, and I hope to God they find out what happened to that little boy. And I think many of us do. And if other creators are in here, I definitely recommend maybe looking into the Cody Bixby case and maybe bringing him up on your channel. Because he is an important case, and it's a sad case at that. So I do hope that, his name is brought up and his face is starting to make its rounds on YouTube and other social media platforms, because he really does need a voice. He really does need exposure. And I hope we can get that done with your help. So we need 50 more likes, B. Betty Fan says. 50 more likes, folks. Who's going to be my 50? If you guys have not liked this segment, please go out and like this segment. Where is VA? Oh, Virginia. It's in Hampton, Virginia. Is that, if I'm right? It's in Hampton, Virginia. And it's a little boy that disappeared, I want to say January 2022, according to his dad that's in jail. But family members, I just found out in the last week that there are people that said that they have not seen the boy since after Christmas. So this could be one of those West type of cases where the kid actually disappeared a lot longer on, has been gone a lot longer than what the father said. And I think that's kind of what Virginia is believing, but I believe it's in Hampton, Virginia, if possible. So we have 251 thumbs up with 305 people in the chat. If you had not had an opportunity to throw a thumbs up, please do. Why don't you guys do, before we close out and while we're getting the thumbs up on this, the likes up on this channel, why don't you guys tell me where you guys are from? Throw in your city and state in the chat. Curious. Turtleville. That would have been a Dolly statement. Turtleville from Turtle State. Springfield, Ohio. Nice to see it. About the remains. IMT Summer, you must have missed me. I had asked you early on if you could send me the link to that. I'll put it up right now, but I didn't have a link and I could not find it under my search. I don't know why I couldn't find it in the search. Springfield, Ohio. We got Central New York, Inverness, Florida. Oh, you're one of my neighbors, Robin. Northern New Jersey. We didn't like you, Amy. We don't like you. No, I'm just joking. You from New Jersey. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm teasing you. London, UK. Nice to have you from the pond. Northern Illinois. Oh, boy. Miss Thomas. I'm not going to pronounce that name. I promise you. So we're just going to call you New York. There's I'm good at a pronunciation, but that's got me stumped. Kentucky. Oh, you're in Bluefield, Virginia. John, you need to get a hold of Dolly. You need to get a hold of Dolly, man. He's going out there looking for Cody. He's another friendly face over there in Virginia. He's going out there looking for that. This would be great for you guys to collaborate on. Seriously. It'll be a great opportunity for both of you guys because you both have the same demeanor. I think you guys would be, if you don't know who he is, you guys would be BFFs. I mean, you guys got the same kind of, personalities, kind of the sweet, but go-getter personality. You guys might reach out to Dolly Vision. Great guy. I didn't know you were that close. Now I'm going to be sitting from my Now I won't just be jealous of Dolly. I'll be jealous of you too, John. Hey, Babe King, I haven't seen you. Nice to see you, buddy. Where was I? It popped up on me. I'm sorry, guys. It popped up on me. I got to end it. So, New York, upstate northern New York. So we got some New York people in here. You guys should probably get together. We got Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's also close to me. Ozark, Kansas. This has been a great live to end the week with. Oh, thank you. You covered many topics and had an inspiring panel guest too. Yeah. It really was a good live today. So Dayton, Texas, nice to see you. Originally born and raised in Port Charlotte, Florida, and live in St. Pete, Florida. So you are another friend, very close. I'm from Florida, Manatee County, just over the Skyway Bridge. That's where I'm at. Pittsburgh, PA. We got. I'm that way. Let's see. Arlington, Texas, New York State. Oh, Penn 1010, Kingsport, Tennessee. I may need to reach out to you. I got to get some things. Maryville, Tennessee, Northwest Arkansas. Nice to see you. Redding, California. Valparaiso. I can't say that either. So we're just going to say you're from Indiana. We got Ovid, Michigan, Baltimore, Maryland, Herman, Utah. Ooh, you're in Utah. Tammy, how is everything? Are you your portion? Now, Utah's a big state, and there's a lot of mountains and like castle. Like we went out to Moab, and it was beautiful and orange and reddish and all those really deep colors and stuff like that. Have you heard in Herman, Utah? About the Dylan Rounds case. Is that making its rounds in your state? I'm just curious. I don't know. And Sherry Cole, Idaho. We know where you are, Susiana. New York, Conroe, Texas. I was out in Conroe, Texas. I actually made we probably ran into each other when I was in Conroe, and we just didn't even know it. Scientologyville. Miss Robin, you killed me. Southwest Florida, Wichita. I don't know how to do that. LOL. Okay, Blount County. Maybe IMT Summer send me the article by email, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, and let me know that you got it there, and we'll pull it up and see what it says. Kayla knew what she was saying, what Robin was meaning. Oh, golly. San Diego, nice to have you. I'm in Connecticut. I'm a Connecticut girl born just in northern New Jersey. Gotcha. Did everyone see Doug's daughter? Oh, thank you, Chatty Jen. While we're on that thing, thank you. Yes, I was meaning to talk about it, but I forgot to put it on my list because I read it last night. I know other people had read it. So let me go over here. There was a post from Doug Live, guys. He is doing much better, but he expresses that he is not out of the woodwork. So yes, thank you, Chatty Jen. I will pull that up here just shortly. Let me just get through these other people. So all the other people that are here, thank you so much. Priscilla, Hawkins County, Tennessee. Wow. I think I know when you were here. Yeah, sure you do, Texaholic. Oh my goodness, where's my little tassels? I got a little headband, red, white, and blue headband. And I was upset with myself because this was the year I was supposed to go out and buy more headbands because my little things that come down are getting frayed, and I want the red, white, and blue. And so now they're starting to look like like they've been around for a while because they've been around for a while. And I was meaning to go out to Walmart to get more because that's where I got them. And I was going to buy 5 or 6 so they'll always look new whenever I have them. And I forgot. So whenever you're back in the area, hit me up. Absolutely. Let me go over here to Doug's Live. I do want to read this because I think everybody here has been worried, and this is a big thing for me about the bullying on YouTube and how it can spin out of control. And when it does spin out of control, it can get really bad really quickly. But there was a statement from Doug. He had I believe his daughter or maybe one of his administrators post it. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me just a second, guys. But it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful. I probably should have had it like I said, pulled up, but I apologize again about that. I was meaning to pull it up, but when I was putting everything together, I forgot. But anyways, he was basically telling us that, he was, come on, let me find it. I wish they would have pinned it. It's not pinned, which is making it very difficult for me to find. There it is. I found it. I found it. Okay, so here it is. And I'll read it to everybody so the people that are on the phones don't have to squint. It says, official message from Doug. A hello and love you update. Official details that have been asked for by fans. After a heart attack and dying, Mama G and Hannah screamed for help, and a couple heard them screaming and responded. CPR was performed by a superhero who was only known by Doug by a hello wave in the morning. Then Northport Police and Northport Fire and Rescue arrived and performed life-saving efforts. Northport EMT then took me to the Northport ER. The next was a life flight lift with CPR to Sarasota Memorial Hospital in the Tampa General helicopter. I was intubated for life support to keep me alive for a week. Then to increase survival, they did a therapeutic hypothermia to my body to intentionally lower my body's temperature to increase survival rate and brain function. I was in a coma for a few days, but was breathing with the machine. Once my normal brain function returned, they were able to install a stent in the back of the heart. The other surgeries have been canceled for now, waiting for my body to recover. My internal defibrillator worked with 16 shocks. I was dead a total of 36 minutes. The EMTs also used the shock paddles 4 times, over 20 IV and blood draws all day, every day. If you only knew. Fun, fun, fun. I might be all bruised up. I might have broken ribs from the CPR. I might be in severe pain. I cannot function yet, waiting for the main artery to heal. I might not be out of the woods, but I'm alive. 9 lives and counting. I still have a few left. P.S. It has been 12 days since it happened, and Doug Live and Mama G still have no access to any of the 3 phones or accounts or emails. We're not ignoring anyone. We just can't get access yet. Thank you so much. I have been told about the support and prayers, and you have all brought me to tears. And when you have broken ribs, tears hurt. But thank you. I can't say any more about the situation. I will be back. That gives me goosebumps all over my body. I don't know why. My body just gets these goosebumps when I read stuff. I don't get it, but it happens. It's like, and goosebumps makes your legs hair grow quicker, right? So it's like I shaved this morning, and now I'm going to have to shave this afternoon, and I never have to do that. But prayers for Doug. This was a sad situation. I apparently have met or at least ran into Doug a few times and didn't even know it. And from everybody that I've ever spoke to said this man was just a sweet guy. He was, all he ever wanted to do was help people and bring, Northport to the world. And so he didn't deserve what he got. This is where YouTube turns into real life, and it's really sad. And this is kind of the things that can happen when people's bullying and stalking goes to the extreme. Doug did not deserve this by any stretch of the imagination. And, the Stern Squad is not the Stern Squad, it's Stern Squad. Jason Sternquist is responsible, and the person that not only stalked Doug for many months, he allowed his anger and frustration about Doug, another person, to control him so much so that he put his own self in jeopardy. And had something happened to Doug, he would probably be spending the rest of his life behind bars. So even the Sternquist family should be taking a sigh of relief right now that it didn't go that far. But again, Doug is not out of the woodworks yet. And I hope Jason, is brought to justice. I hope there is justice for Doug. I hope everything works out well. And I hope that I never have to cover another story of a YouTuber attacking a YouTuber. This was absolutely shocking. Many of you guys know, since coming onto YouTube myself, I have been stalked. I have been attacked. I've had to take people to court to get some of the stuff stopped. And it was not fun. It's a little scary. You know, I went from being somebody that was always outside, you know, in my spare time, to somebody that's, you know, almost agoraphobic in a sense, where I don't really leave here very much unless I'm out in the field. And it's because of some of the stuff that's happened to me since coming onto YouTube. It's not cool. And I hope we can all be responsible on here and realize that this is not fake, that these are real lives, that we are real people, and that this is not a game. And if we can all be responsible and have that, I think we can all be a lot safer here. But it takes all of us to make a safe environment, not just one or two people. So that's my 2 cents on that. Again, I just want to thank you for that. Let me just check one other thing and see if I possibly got an email yet with that information. And if I did, I will check it out. But there apparently was something that came out yesterday. Okay, here we go. I need a link. Hello, found the channel W. Let me just see if I can put this in here. But the only one I could find was not from here. It was from June 29th, whenever I tried to search for it before. So if you guys have a link, to the article, I can put it up. But I need the link. That's the problem, is I'm having a hard time finding. Excuse me. I'm having a hard time finding the article. That's the problem. Heavily. Okay, here we go. And this is in Chesapeake. 13 hours ago. Okay, so let's just read what it says here. I'll pull this up on screen. So there is something a little odd. Police are working to identify a human found in wooded area in Chesapeake. So this is what's causing people some concern this morning, that it could very well be Cody Bigsby. But let's just read what we can get from this article and see if it could possibly jive. But we did find it. Thank you, IMT Summer. I couldn't find it earlier. Chesapeake police are working to identify remains that were found in a wooded area of the 1200 block of South Military Highway. Military. The guy was military. This, you know, people like to work in and around places they feel comfortable. I just found that odd, but who knows? Let's just keep reading. 1200 block of South Military Highway, Thursday afternoon. Police tell News 3 the remains were found around 4 p.m. They were heavily decomped and have been sent to the medical examiner for evaluation. Authorities say it was so advanced that police could not immediately determine the person's sex or age range. No foul play is suspected. This is an active investigation. So and not only that, but they can tell if it's a, you know, when I read these things, and I read a lot of them, let me give you my Bullhorn Betty's 2 cents, that this is probably most likely not a child, because even if the sex and age were not immediately determined, they'd be able to tell whether it was a child or an adult. So it sounds like it's a large body, not a small body. And with the no foul play suspected, that means that they believe it was probably something that had to do with maybe their lifestyle, substance abuse, or it appears that maybe they could have been homeless and just out there and never woke up again. We don't know what the situation is, but no foul play suspected leads me to believe that this is not associated with the Cody Bigsby case. So there's my 2 cents on this. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I get out of this. We read all these, especially with the Summer Wells case, and this is exactly what I said when they found something near something. It said the same thing, that due to the the state of the remains, that it was not immediately determined whether the person was male or female and what the age of this person was. But what we were able to determine is that when you're dealing with a child, they would be able to say, whether they could tell the age or not, they can definitely say whether this is an adult or child. So I wish they would be a little more responsible in the reporting and let it let it be known that it's a person like me or a person like our little ones, So, but with no foul play, I don't think this has anything to do with it. But again, we don't know. We'll monitor this. I appreciate Team Summer for bringing this to the channel's attention. With that, guys, have an amazing Friday. TGIF. Go out and make it a great day. Make it a great weekend. Don't forget to turn in tonight to Cher's channel. Listen to Voices Behind the Wall, where we are going to have fundraising in Summer's name for a great cause. And it's going to be raising funds for a domestic violence shelter that allows animals. And why is that important? Because I've talked to women myself that are in very toxic and abusive relationships. And I tell them, I'm happy to give you support. Just pack what you can and leave. And take your children, just get out of the house. And one of the biggest things is I have nowhere to take my animal, and I'm not leaving my animal. And believe it or not, that animal will keep that person in that home to be abused over and over and over again. So having shelters that allows the family animal to come with and helps that family make the decision that it's time to leave that abusive, toxic environment. If we can do something to support, organizations that help with that aspect, because at the end of the day, it's all about saving that person. It's all about getting them out of that violent situation and getting them back on track to live a healthy and productive life without violence. And if it's something as simple as an animal not having a place to go as to why they're subjecting themselves to that, let's eliminate that objective. Let's support shelters that allow the family animal to come with and get them whatever they need. So, we're really definitely going to be promoting this, and I hope to see each and every one of you guys over at Cher's channel tonight to watch and participate in that fundraiser. So he is out on bail. I don't know the guy's name. I don't know who. Oh, if you're talking about Jason Sternquist, who did this to Doug, yes, he's out on bail. He has so far right now his charges. There's a few of them. One's simple battery, touch or strike. Then we have the burglary of an occupied something or other, where he reached in the car and grabbed the phone and took the phone. So that was robbery. He also has a cyber stalking, aggravated cyber stalking, and another charge that I can't remember. But he's got some explaining to do, and I have a funny feeling the judge is not going to be too light on him either way. It should never have happened. He should have never allowed himself to take it to that next level. And hopefully this is a great lesson for, even the bully channels. I sometimes their intentions are not to hurt people, but inciting their base causes people to get hurt. And I hope that starts stopping. So anyways, guys, God bless you. Go make it a great day. It was amazing. Thank you for all of the creators that came in here today to show some love and get some information, to the mods that work tirelessly to keep all these crazy trolls out of the chat, and the audience here that just wants to get some information and have an interactive experience. So with all of you guys, I just want to thank you for helping our channel grow and be the best that it can be. I love each and every one of you. God bless each and every one of you. Enjoy your weekend, and don't forget to be fearless, folks. Have a great
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.